Jimodin! Jimodin! Sorry, I just woke up. So, my voice isn't quite there yet. Okay. I got up an hour ago. I haphazardly put this scene together. It was on my mind last night. I was like, I want to make just a silly little interview scene looking thing, and it will be very easy because I'm gonna be very lazy about it. But last night I was doing some real brain rot hours. There was nothing productive going on at all the entirety of last night. Do I dare say I played a little bit of Roblox with the movement. And just playing this brain rot game for like 6 hours. Yeah, so it was literally nothing productive was getting done. It was like one of those games where you just click on, like Cookie Clicker, but for Roblox babies. And there's like so much gacha going on, and you have to strengthen your pet as you are clicking. Yeah, so it was just like that for 6 hours and nothing else. And it was just like completely brain empty, brain smooth. Nothing else was going on. And then it was like 3 a.m. and I was like, I didn't get anything done today. I had ideas for this stream. I didn't get them done because I was playing Roblox. Yeah, so that was a good time. Oh, thank you for the gifted. I appreciate it. Welcome to the shoebox. If you are a new Grem, you all live in a communal shoebox together, and you are all like little tiny squishy little lizards, and you're like, yay, communal shoebox. We are cuddling in here together and holding tails and smashing our squishy paws against each other and dancing, and it's all happy, and we're just going around in a circle, and you get fed 3 times a day, and each of those meals are burnt marshmallows, and sometimes you get a pizza, and sometimes you get to watch Teen Wolf, and you have a terrarium, and you all have to work together to upgrade your shoebox. A very, very communal, happy place. I hope you enjoy it. Yay! Yeah! I hope you like it in there. But hello! Jimodin! It is GG standard time. It has been some time since we've... I mean, in the middle of the week of last week, I did a few GG standard time streams. Only 2. I remember them very distinctly. One Yappin stream, and then the other was the Teen Wolf watch along. And in doing so, I realized that having a stream at GG standard time going into directly another stream that starts much later and then lasts for a lot longer, that my entire day consists of streaming and I can't do anything else. There is some homework that was really, really, really cutting it close. Because my sleep schedule was completely messed up. And throughout the day, all I was doing was streaming. But it was fun! It was fun. I'm glad that it lasted for as long as it did. And I'm happy everyone seemed to have fun too. And now I am on the journey of fixing my sleep schedule so that I wake up at normal times again. And I do work at nighttime. And I go to bed at not 6 a.m. Not 6 or 7 a.m. That is my dream. That is my goal. Let me see. Before we start, where is it? I missed some Jimudin supas that I must say Jimudin to before we get into the meat of this. Is it an interview? Maybe. Mayhaps it's an interview. My mind has been so, like, has been revolving around Enreco the past week that sometimes I feel like when I'm just speaking normally, that I start talking kind of medievally, and then I'm like, no, it's not who I am. It's a mistake. I'm not trying to. It's just, I've just been talking like this for a really long time, and then so that's why it just sounds like this. I'm sorry. Let me see. Thank you, Phoenix, for the super. Huzzah! Jonathan will always live on in our memories and hearts. I loved your RP so much. The storylines and interactions are so fun. You've got a great gift, and I can't wait to see more from the mind of Gigi. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I hope that in today's stream, you'll be able to see a little more of my thought processes and my ideas of Jonathan G and where it all began. That is where it's gonna begin. The great actor's expose of today. And then shortcomings and things I forgot and all that stuff. Yeah, you have a chair today. You like it? Do you like your chair? Thank you, Zai, for the super. G Moody, you did absolutely fantastic during Enreco. It's been so fun watching Jonathan G and his interactions with everyone. Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah is here to stay. Well, it's here to stay sometimes. Maybe for the rest of the month. And then whenever I just do, like, medieval stuff, I just say huzzah in general. Huzzah is just... It's just yippee. It's the same exact thing. Thank you, Target, for the August Super Jimudin! Jimudin! And thank you, Forsack, for the Jimudin! Jimudin? Jimudin, everyone! Jimudin! It is always Jimudin somewhere in the world, and Jimudin is when you wake up. Jimudin is when Jimudin is. Thank you, Sonic Jerry, for the Super... Huzzah! Wait, I mean Jimudin. Another yapping stream about Enreco. I had a fun time with the event and can't wait for Chapter 2. One last huzzah! Huzzah! I'm also very excited for Chapter 2. What? If Chapter 2 came too fast, then I feel like everyone would burn out much quicker. So I'm glad that there's enough. I actually don't really know the time in between. I just go by vibes. All I know is that it is not next month. It is not immediately... You are not going Chapter 1 immediately into Chapter 2. It is at least a little bit of a cooldown period. So don't expect it in the, like, immediate future. But expect it in the future. That is what you should expect. I'm sure someone else has given a much better answer than I have, but I tend to... I don't know. They give us these documents and they're like, here's all the information, read it. And then I read it, and then it goes, you know, like my brain is so smooth, it just rolls off, and I'm like, it's in the future. It's whatever. It'll happen. It'll happen at some point. Thank you, Gundam, for the Super G-Moody. And Reco was such a great experience over the last week. Love seeing everyone interact in all the storylines that occurred, especially Jonathan's. Huzzah! 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 Thank you, everyone, for the support. Thank you, Sagria. I will not get on Fliff unless, well, maybe one day we'll be allowed to play Fliff for everyone to see. Thank you, Kim, for the super G-Moody. Welcome back, GG. Thank you, Tanukaze, for the super nice shower curtains. Thank you. Do you like how I put the Enigmatic Recollection logo on it myself? I printed it on, screen printed. So wonderful, so beautiful. Thank you, Soria, for the super G-Money. Thank you so much for the amazing RP you did. It was cool to follow, and I was waiting impatiently to see what you would do with each day. You did make me cry with Ava. You are the best. How many people in here cried? How many people in here were tearing up? Were you crying a little bit? That's so surprising to me. And it does make me, it tickles me. I am how to say, I am tickled by your guys' reaction. I think this is what people who create their OCs and then they make like the most tragic thing befall their OCs, and you're sharing with your friends and you're like, this is the storyline that I have planned for my OC, and then your friend hits you back with the, what the hell is wrong with you, you disgusting vile creature, and you're like, yes. That means you like it. That's what it feels like. That's monster reaction that you're always looking for when you're like sharing your OC's tragic backstory to your friends, and you're like, and then your friends are like, "You are a terrible human being. Why would you do this to them? They don't deserve it. I hate you." And you're like, "I have done well." Thank you, Win Digo for the super. Jonathan G made me a fan. He was a great gentleman. He was the greatest gentleman. Thank you for the super with the Grams having Battle Cat's mouse on purpose because I really love it. They had 3 mouths on purpose because I like 3 mouths a lot. 3 mouths are wonderful. Where am I? I've lost it. How did my... What the... Why did my YouTube page just close suddenly? Oh, it is what it is. Okay! I am now... Hold on. Before I begin, I'm teasing all of you. You're like, what? There are questions. I need to point my fan at myself. It's really warm. Very warm. Okay. Well, it's kind of pointing at myself. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Malsam, for the Akasuba. Congratulations on your excellent performance in Oreko Chapter 1. You have inspired me to get back into RP. Huzzah! Huzzah! I'm glad if I have inspired you to chase your creative bliss. That is all I could ever ask for is like providing some inspiration for you to create creatively, to tap into your creation skills, and you're like, huh, this moment inspired me. I want to have fun and do stuff, or I want to express those feelings. Very awesome. Okay, my overall thoughts of Enreco was that it was really fun. Going into Enreco, I don't think anyone knew what was happening. I'm sure you could tell that, like, everything leading up to Enreco, no one expected it to be a roleplay. A roleplay server. Like, from the teasers to the animation to like the PVs, like everything leading up into Enreco, no one expected it to be roleplay. And then I think a lot of people were also... It's the very first time that it happened, so there's like no precedent for people to take examples from. So leading up to it, it was like a lot of questions like, how are we gonna do this? And what are your expectations? And what do you want us to do? Kind of stuff. Since there's like nothing really to reference off of. Oh, thank you, Spirit of the Underage Chamber, the August. Sir Jonathan with the G was truly an inspired performance. Wonderful job. Thank you! Thank you! Yeah, and because this was the very, very first installment, and that everyone was just like, okay, we'll just see what happens and we'll wing it. And even me, on the very first day, I wasn't sure what I was going to roleplay as. I understood the concept of it being a roleplay, and I saw the setting, and I'm like, the easiest thing to do is just talk a little weirdly and a little medievally, and I have never done like a voiced roleplay ever before. All my role-playing experience has been text-based, which means I get to have a lot of time to talk weird. No, it's not weird. No, it's not weird. It's wonderful. Talk strangely. Hi, Liz. Liz is very, very good at getting into character. If you haven't watched Liz's POV, you should go check out Liz's POV. She's very good at getting into character. She's really good at character voices. That is a real performer right there. Yeah, so a lot of my knowledge comes from text RP. So it was very interesting experience for me to see it translated into a voiced setting where the first thing you say is the new canon. You know? It's a very different experience. You're just like, you are always, whatever you are saying is what's being written. And then I was like, I don't know what's going on. We're just winging it. Yeah. I have never sat down and been in like a group setting in a call role-playing. It's always just been through text. That is all my RP experience. So I'm sure everyone can tell on the first day, everyone was looking and finding their footing. And then me going into it, my thoughts of the roleplay were that it does seem like, because everyone isn't really familiar with roleplay, everyone has like different varying experiences with RP, that I would go with a very, very, I don't know, very neutral character. A very supporting type character, in that I would just be a little extreme. I wanted to be on the a little more of the extreme side, where like I could maybe persuade someone to roleplay back at me if I just keep talking like that and saying weird stuff. So a lot of what I wanted to do was just like make people around me more comfortable with role-playing back to me, because everyone just has like deferring comfort of RP. And I hope in doing that I was able to, yeah, I'm role-playing with you, please respond back to me. And in the beginning, a lot of my interactions were, I don't know, my memory is foggy, so I'm sorry if everything I'm saying is completely wrong. Maybe my perception of myself role-playing is completely different from what I was actually doing. But in my head, what I was doing was I was trying to, how to say, support others by kind of gently nudging them into like coming up with their own scenarios and then going along with it. I think a lot of... I'm talking out of my ass right now because I've never taken an improv class in my life. I've only heard this secondhand, is that a lot of improv is yes-anding. So, here I am. I'm like, okay, let's try and talk to this person, and let's try to gently guide them into doing something that they maybe like, so they come up with a scenario, and then let's go along with the scenario so that they feel more confident and comfortable in creating new scenarios. So that is what I was doing. But even if I was trying to go along with a lot of what people were doing, Jonathan G was still his own character, and I made him a very agreeable person because he had to be agreeable for all of this to work, but he still had his own ideals. You know, he is loyal to Queen Tam Gander. He won't do something terrible unless tricked into it. So there will be a little bit of resistance regarding things that his views don't align with. But I always try to set up like an alternative for someone to like get around it. So if I'm like, oh no, I wouldn't do that. Even though you are very blank and blank, I cannot possibly go against my ideals. And I was trying to like hint at, oh, you could word this in a way to make me believe you, and I'll go along with your plot. So I hope people were able to pick up that if they just lied to me a little bit and worded their way around my sentence, I will do whatever they want to do. Yeah. So he is just a very, very gullible person. Very loyal and very good. So if you wanted to bring someone along with your journey, he's the reliable person that you could bring along on your journey. And if you wanted someone to do something for you, you can lie to him and make him do it for you. Also, I refer to Jonathan G as him because somewhere in my mind I completely forgot that this roleplay was us. And it got lost to me somewhere along the way that I forgot that it's just us with amnesia. So that's why Jonathan G is being referred to as a male. Because in my head, he's just a dude. But then when I think about Enrico as a whole, I'm like, actually, Jonathan G's just supposed to be me with amnesia. Don't worry, I'll figure it out later. I have many chapters before I really have to confront that, so I have enough time to bullshit something together and make it work. Yeah, don't worry. But for all intents and purposes, in chapter 1, just imagine Jonathan G as the typical knight. He is the moment. It is him. and then in a couple chapters, I'll try and I'll write. Well, I can come up with something. It'll be very easy. It'll be very quick. It'll be glazed over, and then everyone can go on with their days. Yeah. A lot of also what I was doing was that I wasn't really trying to push any angles in the RP because, you know, I have at least some experience with RP, even if it's not vocal. I didn't want to push my own storylines onto other people because, in my head, since people don't have a lot of experience with RP, they might feel like a little pressured or railroaded into doing something because I have more experience than them, that they just like instinctually go along with what I'm doing. So that's why I tried to give a lot of space to people to continue their own storylines, and I didn't want to progress things very much because I didn't want someone to feel like pressure to do something, or like in the moment doing something and then they think about it and they're like, I didn't actually want to do that. Yeah. So most of the time I was just bouncing off what they were saying, and then I would progress on my own based off of what they were doing. And that is why in the later scenes where Jonathan G is writing in his book, he is alone and he has introspection, his introspective thoughts, because I can introspectively move things along without affecting other people's whatever they're setting up. And a very, very important thing, that this was a role play. Nothing is to be taken seriously, especially you have to consider that their main goal is to have fun. Everyone wants to have fun. We want people to roleplay. We want to encourage people to roleplay. So if something happens in a roleplay that you don't like, please do not take it to talents. Do not post about it. Do not at them, please. Yeah. We do not want to put someone off of roleplaying, especially since there's a lot of people is out of their comfort zone, and they definitely were trying. They were doing their best, and they had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun. So please be very, very mindful of what you are saying when it comes to RP scenarios. Yeah, no fighting! Stop fighting! And in my head, I don't see this as canon because to a degree we're all aware that we are acting, and if it were canon we would have less, like people would be less or more afraid of doing crazy things in the roleplay. But I feel like we should promote and support their crazy ideas without them fearing any repercussions. So anything that happens, it is in Reco. I am imagining it like we're putting on a theater play and we're just doing it for funsies. Imagine you're going to a random production in a random town and you're just seeing a bunch of girls putting on a theater play for funsies, and they're like, yay, that was awesome. So that is how I imagine it, is that We are just, we're putting on a fun little theater play. And I guess the very, very main thing that people have attached themselves to is the Pearl storyline. The wonderful Pearl storyline. I think at the end, people could definitely tell from my POV that I was extending it a little bit. That it took like the entire length of until the final battle began for it to resolve. And that's partially because as I was saying before, I didn't want to push anyone into resolving a plotline in a way that they didn't want to. So a lot of it was me just gauging to see if Ame was comfortable, where her comfort levels were, because I also understand that people take, I guess, in character role plays, and they take the relationships really seriously. So that's why I was trying to like get a sense of her comfort levels, and I wanted to make absolutely sure wherever she was going is where she was comfortable with. Because I know that it can get a little crazy if someone were like, this is real life and this is real. So it was all, the entirety of almost basically everything was improv. I think it was when, what was it, day 6? Day 6 when she got her memories back is the first time she messaged me about like the state of the RP, I suppose. And she's like, are you good with it here? And I'm like, I don't care. We can just improv and see where it goes. And she's like, okay. So that was like the complete, our total interactions when it came to talking about the plot. Yeah. So then everything else was just like, okay, we'll just improv the rest of it. And I think the extent of my interactions with most people was sending little carrier pigeon mails and asking them if they would be free the next day. Because I thought it'd be a cute way to still extend the roleplay out of it and get their mind space into being hee roleplay silly and cute and fun. And then I was also like, are you free tomorrow? What time are you free? I want to play with you. So those are most of my messages to people. Is I was like, oh, dear Cerulean Cup members, this is happening right now. Oh, what a shame. Anyways, what time are you going to be in the kingdom tomorrow? What time are you guys planning on being in the kingdom? So we can work around what time you are signing on. So I do think that the bulk of everything that you see is completely improv. I don't know how many people spoke behind the scenes, but at least from my side, up until the very, very last few days, it was just like, let's try and find out a time for all of us to be online, so we can play together. And then at the end, there was a little bit of discussion on like how many storylines are left that we want to try and finish before the end of it. And then how can I help you finish the storyline that you want to tell? So that was like, everything was at the end where we're just trying to tie up loose ends. And the other part, there was like, we were making a few flyers and stuff. It started with Fauna's Fauna Mart, where she posted a flyer in the chat. And then we asked the guides to make a channel for us to post flyers. And then that was our little way of advertising, being like, is there anyone around to do such a thing? Because I believe that this is happening. So I guess that was us posting new scenarios to try and get people to engage with something that we wanted to do. Some of them didn't quite happen, but we placed it there and it was like an extension of a roleplay. Which is why Callie Senpai mentioned it the other day about the food inspection thing, is because I posted in the chat being like, is there any food inspector in the realms? I heard that there is something terrible happening in the diner because of what Shiori told me about the diner. And then Callie approaches me and she's like, what do you mean there's something wrong with my diner? And I'm like, Yeah, so the notice board was all in character. People have the knowledge of that, and then they can extend from that any which way that they pleased, that they wanted to. Thinking in my mind. All right, let me look at some questions. I have a one set up. Where is it? This one? Yes. What did you feel seeing all the angst tweets from literally everyone in the community? Was the response what you expected? What I thought about all the angst tweets, I mean this in the best way possible. I thought they were so silly and so funny because I was like, everyone is getting emotional over this. Like, it's how most people who content create feel, is that they are just like really, really pleased that they evoke such an emotional response, and they're like, you are suffering, and that's awesome. Yeah, I thought the A's tweets were really funny. I thought they were very funny and very awesome and very cool. Yeah. It was not the response I was expecting because everything was done very, very in the moment. That afterwards I was like, whoo, had a great session, guys. Opens up Twitter, sees all these posts on my timeline. I'm like, wow, what happened here? Yeah, you are in pain and I am laughing. It brings me so much joy and glee to know that you were in pain. Thank you guys for getting so emotionally invested in the story. It really, there's no other way to say that it tickles me. You have pleased me. Thanks for crying, guys. Wonderful. That was awesome. Did you like the stories I was writing? That was the most pressure. The most pressure is definitely opening that book and trying to write something in front of a bunch of people, and I have no outline. I'm just spitballing. So all of those books were not planned. I didn't even know I was gonna write a book that day. That just happened, and I'm like, I think I'll write a book. And then I wrote a book, and I'm like, what do I write here? And so I was just like, keep smashing stream of consciousness of just random angst. Yes, the books were very spur of the moment. On the last day, I was vaguely considering writing something beforehand, but it wasn't what I ended up writing. Because I ended up writing Jonathan G's feelings towards the Pearl. I was very vaguely thinking about writing about his entire journey and then leaving that note on like a happy end. But I opened up Google Docs and I wrote 2 words and I was like, I'm not feeling it. And then I closed it. I was just, you know, the writer's feeling of when you open up a blank empty document and you write like, what if we did a parallel here? Once upon a time, comma, and then I stared at it for a good 5 minutes and like, nah. I'm just not gonna do it. And then I closed it, and then started stream, and ended up writing a book anyways about his feelings. So wonderful, the writer's journey. But yeah, the response was definitely not something I expected. I am very happy that if the scenario and everything around it has inspired you to create, because there is a lot of art going around on Twitter right now, and there's a lot of like writing that's popping up right now too, and it does warm my heart. I think one of my goals has always been to inspire others or to like evoke a feeling, which is why in the past I wanted to be an author, was because I wanted to write something that evoked emotion in others. And I never ever would have thought that I would be evoking emotion in such a way in Minecraft RP. Like, if you spoke to little Gigi from when she wanted to be an author, and then you're like, yes, little Gigi, you will be able to get this reaction that you so desire, but it's going to be in Minecraft RP. So it's kind of surreal. It's like a surreal feeling that, hey, this was kind of like my childhood wishes and dreams were to write and create and inspire others, and I've achieved it, but not the way that I expected. The world does so work in mysterious ways. Yeah, if we wanted to talk about my childhood, I think the route that it went is that I really liked reading as a kid. You know, as children so often do, is that they read so many young adult novels, and then they're like, I want to keep reading, and I want to write too, because I love reading. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped wanting to write because writing is very hard. And then also around the time I started getting really into League of Legends. And then after really getting into League of Legends, I'm like, wouldn't it be so cool if I could be a cool League of Legends streamer? So I was like, wow, I really wish that I was a cool League of Legends streamer. And then after I stopped playing League of Legends, like, wow, never want to play that game again. And then I get back into League of Legends. But it's like the trajectory of my life where I wanted to be an author, and then I wanted to be a League of Legends streamer, and then now we're here where I am a streamer, but I'm not a League of Legends streamer. And I am getting the things that I want from writing, but through roleplay. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's great how the world works. I am also getting back into League, so maybe we are just going full circle. Is that one day I will be a League of Legends streamer, just like little Gigi wanted. She wanted to be a League of Legends streamer, and now we're gonna be a League of Legends streamer. I'm washed though. I don't think it'd be any fun watching me play League of Legends because I'm washed, and then everyone would be flaming me, and then they'd be like, "Why are you doing that, 80 carry Timo? Uninstall the game now." And then I would type, well, I believe... is it? I don't know. I think if you type the word... No, I can't be... I have to be an upstanding citizen. If you type the word "whore" in the League of Legends chat, you get chat muted, and it alerts everyone that you chat muted yourself. And then they're like, this person can't read your chats anymore because they said a bad word. So if you ever want to do a little silly while you are playing League of Legends with your friends, you can type that word in, and then they'll be like, "What did you do?" And you're like, "Nothing." Moving on. Let me look for another question. Sorry, I don't know what happened to this conversation. Something happened here. Touches the ground. Something happened here. I'm just going down this tweet. Here, let me. Like this? Ooh, it is not looking good. This? Sorry, I had to fit this in the bubble. Okay! I'm curious. Did you expect Jonathan G to go that far when you first created him? And how do you feel seeing that he got so much love from the community? I guess it is the same as the first question, the second part of it. Honestly, my brain was so empty in the beginning when I created Jonathan G. I was really put on the spot when we were all in the room, and then people... I don't know who spoke to me. Someone spoke to me, and they're like, "What is your name?" And then I was like, "Wait, what? No, I created it." Yes, I improv'd it in the very beginning, where I found a name tag in my white space room, and then I didn't think that far as I was improvising it, and I was like, "Oh no, I can't be Gigi. I have to be something else." So, in my very, very stressed out moment, I just said Jonathan with a G, the first thing in my head. And then when Cody asked me what her name was, that also kind of stressed me out. That I just called her the Azure Maiden. And then she was like, "That's kind of long." And I'm like, "Okay, you can be Tam." And then it really tickled me, pleased me that Cody went along with it for... She was like, took it. She's like, "Okay, I'm Tam now." It was really cute. Our sweet Queen Tam, we miss you every day. We are waiting you in the kingdom. The king, he is a stain. You cannot marry him. You must take over the kingdom. We must save the kingdom of Lebestal. Queen Tam. Yeah, in the beginning, I didn't have any set character description, or he was very much... Jonathan G was very much a blank slate kind of creature, I suppose. And I just went with it. And then he slowly evolved into being this very lawful good, very, very gullible knight who goes with everything and gets used, and very loyal to the queen. That all just happened naturally through the course of the RP. And then at the end of it, I had a much clearer idea of Jonathan G and what he would do. And then I just injected a little bit of angst into him, because emotional stress is always great. Yeah, honestly, when I wrote the first book, I was completely set and ready to go for, like, a tragic end for our dear Jonathan G, where his dear sweet Pearl doesn't get her memories back, because I was fully... myself, I was fully ready for it to, like, the plot line to be resolved there in case Ame didn't want to keep pushing it. So I was writing it in a way that it could have been resolved there, and then he could have his own emotional, sad moments, and that would lead to something else. I don't know. We'd have to get there. But went along with I realized that Ame was kind of angling for the memories to return, so we just went along with it. Emotional sad moments? Yeah, we had to have the emotional sad moments to make the happy moments all the better, all the happier. What about the Violet song? That was just really, really impeccable timing. I don't even think Bibu was paying attention to what was going on. I think she just saw Ina, and then she's like, I'm gonna play Violet right now. And then the stars completely align. It was so... like, that moment is what people struggle to script into a movie. And then it just happened by chance. Complete, pure chance that it happened that way. And then, Hollywood is spending their entire budget trying to recreate that scene. Timing was crazy. What is the next one? Wow, this question. I'm just looking at my tweet and seeing the ones with the most likes. Hold on. What do you mean by this question? What do you mean by this? And then you don't see it, but there's like a pointing hand emoji and a raised eyebrow emoji. What do you mean by the raised eyebrow emoji? What? This may come as a surprise to all of you. But I was not a theater kid. Only because it wasn't available to me. It just didn't exist for me. But if it did, I think I would have been a theater kid if I had the option to go into it. If I could, I think maybe I would have been a theater kid. But I know I give off theater kid energy. It's because I really, really, really like Broadway and musicals, and I like theater. I just wasn't a theater kid. But afterward, I guess you could call me a theater kid now. I don't do plays though. I think I would like to do one. I am in spirit. I am indeed a theater kid in spirit. I think plays are awesome and wonderful, and the people that do them are very, very talented. One of the stage plays that I was really into was the IQ stage play. It's really good, and it made me cry. And they're really long. They're like 2 hours and 50 minutes. And it's very intense choreography. And my favorite thing about stage plays is that every single stage play is different. Every experience you go to is different. They all do it live, and not a single one is the same as the last. And for the entirety of those 2 hours and 50 minutes, they're giving their all into being this character, and they're just working really hard, and that moment, they're embodying the moment, that character. So I think theater and plays are awesome. I love them so much. I would like to be a part of one day. It's like the thought of someone giving their all into a performance for the entire run of it, and it's like the very, very definition of the phrase, the show must go on. I I don't know. I think the entire thing is very inspiring, and you're doing it in front of a live audience, and you can see the live audience. You can see the reactions at the end of it when the curtain calls and they have the light shining on them, and they are bowing, and they're like, "Thank you for coming to the stage play." I imagine that feeling, and that must be the most amazing and wonderful feeling in the entire world. I want to experience what they experience. And then, I own the Haikyuu stage plays on DVD because I really wanted to support them after really getting into them. And then, after one of them, I think it's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of the stage plays, the main cast, they graduate because they've been touring for a couple years. So they graduate their roles of the main cast of Karasuno, and then they have their final curtain call, and then you just see the actors outside of their characters saying how much it means to them, and then one of them is breaking down crying on stage, and I'm like, no. Please, no. It was so sad. Stage plays are wonderful, and I think actors really truly love their characters, and it really shaped a big part of their lives, and I want to support the art for as long as I can. So if you've never seen theater before, if you've never seen a musical before, you should. You should go see one. My recent suggestion for a musical would be... the main problem with a lot of Broadway is that it's not very accessible. Which makes me sad. You really have to either be in an area that has, the Big Apple, where they have Broadway all the time, or you just get lucky that they tour in your city. But for the most part, they're very inaccessible. I think there's a few you could watch. Obviously, they have made some adaptations recently. I don't know what the most recent adaptation is. I don't know. Well, I know that they are very inaccessible. But if you get the chance to see a musical in your area, I hope that you can go. My most recent hyperfixation of Broadway is Hadestown. If you like tragedy, I'm assuming you do, seeing as if you were also taken by Jonathan G's story, you should go watch Hadestown. It is about Orpheus and Eurydice, if you know the Greek mythology, where he goes down to the underworld to get Eurydice back, but then it's the story about where he turns around and then she can't go be with him. Jonathan, my beloved, Shiori Novella, my beloved. I give you a kiss. Mwah! Hi, Shiori. Shiori. It's not a spoiler. It's a Greek mythology. The entire thing hinges on you knowing how the story goes. If you do not know the typical Greek mythology, I believe that is already you. Yeah. I'm sure that it's been taught somewhere. So, the entire thing is that they are telling the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, but in a different setting, and then the lyrics are very impactful. I do think the first act is a little slow if you have never seen it before and you're just trying your very darn hardest in the theater trying to listen to what they're saying. It is a little difficult to get the entire story when you're watching it live because there is no subtitles. So that's how it makes it drags a little in the beginning. But the second act is really, really good. And then after you watch the entire thing and see it in its entirety, and then you go back to the soundtrack and you listen to the soundtrack over and over again, and you read the lyrics and you're like looking at the lyrics and really analyzing the lyrics, and then you're like, I have to go see it again. I have got to see it a second time. And that is what I did. I watched it the first time. I was kind of struggling to listen to what they were saying because I couldn't hear anything. And then I read the lyrics, and then I went to see it a second time, and it was very impactful and wonderful and beautiful. Yeah. Hadestown era was crazy. The soundtracks had you in a vice. If you want to give the Hadestown soundtrack a listen to, it is similar to Hamilton in that soundtrack, the musical itself is a completely sung-through musical, similar to Les Miserables, Hamilton, and then Hadestown, where you only have to listen to the soundtrack, and that's basically the entire thing. There's no outside dialogue other than what's in those soundtracks. Les Miserables. 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 What about Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice is not a completely sung-through musical, but Beetlejuice is a very, very fun musical, and I like it a lot. I think the songs are catchy. I think the experience, if you saw it, that the performances are really fun. But if you listen to the soundtrack, you would be missing out on a bunch of dialogue. You've watched Hamilton? Yes! Thanks to Hamilton being available on streaming, I was able to watch Hamilton. And then I listened to the Hamilton soundtrack a bunch, and I can imagine the world is upside down. Is that what the song is called? And Satisfied being the most visually stunning on stage. If you were to watch in the crowd, I can imagine those where you're watching them flip everything over and you're like, wow, this is awesome. Well, what other questions are there? Before we get completely off topic talking about Broadway, the answer is I am a theater kid in spirit. I am fine, you got me. I am a theater kid in spirit, whatever. Let me see this one. This was kind of long. This is a very long question. I don't know how I'm gonna fit this. Let me see. What does it look like? Okay. I hope that you can read this. I hope that this doesn't look awful to look at. Were you following a specific code or rules while playing? It was also well done because you kept with your knight's character traits very well. Such as you'd state the obvious if you saw it, but if there wasn't proof of something, you would give the benefit of the doubt and roll with it unless you could snuff it out. So cool. Thank you! I appreciate it! Don't worry, I read it out loud, and now you can look at the really, really tiny text and try to make sense of it. I think my general rule of thumb when I was role-playing, the things that I kept in mind the most is that I wouldn't do something inherently evil. And I did my best to try and only do good deeds or do things that I believe or he believed were to be good. But the knight was very gullible, which is, you know, how he was very easily persuaded into the killing the king plot, even though this is like was it day one? Day one where I chased Ame down and I was like, you are a king killer! You are going to kill a king and I'm gonna tell everyone! And then she's like, listen to me, the king, he is a stain! And that is how I was involved in it. So it was very intentional the way that I was... Well, a lot of it was just complete improv and I was winging it, but I guess that you get so into character that you just naturally do the things that your character would do is that I would do good deeds, but I can be persuaded to doing bad deeds as long as you give me valid reason that it's bad. And then I'm like, okay, maybe you are right. And I will help you in your task. Because I never wanted to shut someone down for their plot. You know? Like, someone has something going that they want to try and do. And it takes a lot of courage to do something like that. To, like, start your own plot. So I wanted to support them in a way, but... while staying true to my character. So if I could word such in a way that they firmly believed in their plot and then they continued, and then I would give a little leeway and then try and bolster the storyline they were creating. If at any moment someone signaled or like showed any sign of them really wanting to do something, then I would try and support them in that. Yeah! But the short-lived Mpreg plot, we could not, in the sense, because I was still thinking of Jonathan G as a male, I was like, okay, that has to be Mpreg. What? I gave it its moment. If Kiara didn't give me the out of the peeing on redstone, and there's like no way for the redstone to turn green, I don't think, because I'm just watering it. Then perhaps the Mpreg arc would have gone for much longer than it did. Until, like, I can't say for sure. Maybe if enough people were to say it and they fully believed it and they're like, no, I'm looking at you, Jonathan, and I really see a bump. Or they roleplay as like a fortune teller and then they're like, I sense it. You are indeed pregnant. And then I would go, oh, I guess I'm pregnant. Now what do I do? What will I do now? So if it was set up in that sort of way, I would just go along with it. But Kiara gave me some redstone, and then it was just we put it away. It was shelved. But if someone really wanted to happen, I guess I would have played along with it. And then Jonathan G would have been pregnant, and we would have to figure out how to raise a child in this economy. Jonathan G learning how to get over heartbreak and learning how to be a single parent, I suppose. Yeah. Who am I to deny someone's little brain plot baby? On a potato salad salary? Yeah, just me crafting 5 billion gold swords for 100 gold of profit. Chapter 2, maybe? I don't even know what's going on in Chapter 2. We will see. Jonathan G will probably come back in Chapter 2, but I do not know in what state. How will he be? What's going to happen to him? Would it be fun? I don't know. In my head, I am very vaguely plotting out a character arc, but you know, it's a multi-chaptered project that maybe I'm just setting it up in Chapter 2 and you won't see it take root until a later chapter. We'll see. I have a very vague idea, but obviously I can't really act upon it or say for certain until we get more information on the future chapters, and then I can more properly plot out Jonathan G's story arc. I also am very grateful for Chapter 1 being very silly to get people into RP. That I think beginning Chapter 2, people will be much more open to just like off the bat going with RP and maybe making their own character, seeing how Chapter 1 ended and how much fun people were having. I would like to see everyone else's characters that they've cooked up. I'm very excited. I am very, very excited for the future chapters and how everyone else is planning on playing it. I'm happy that we got to see everyone open up and engage with the RP more and then make up storylines on their own or just act in silly ways and you're like, wow, this is beautiful. I hope you're having fun. You're having a wonderful, beautiful moment. Let me see. This question here, I'm not gonna put it on screen because I went into it. I feel in depth enough, but I will read it out loud really fast. How much behind the scenes planning did you do with Ame, and how much was ad-libbed? If there was behind the scenes planning, were all the girls part of it, or just something that wanted to be more involved? And I would say that at least 80% of it was pretty much ad-libbed and not discussed upon some more. I'm sure there was like little miniature conversations where like, I have an idea and I want to do this. And then someone would maybe go, okay, honestly, this is me just headcanoning it and imagining it because I didn't experience it. It's what I perceive a conversation to go if someone were to discuss it behind the scenes. But on my side of things, I was just sending pigeons. And then I was like, what time are you going to be online? I would like to play with you. Let me see if I can pull up something. I think this is the first letter that I sent Ame. Yeah, because we had our little plot of assassinating the king going on. I wrote this letter to Ame and sent it out there just to try and facilitate this storyline. and to show her that I was open to it and that if she wants to, that we could continue it further. Show the actual pigeon image I used? Probably not. I just googled pigeons, carrier pigeons, and then I looked for random carrier pigeon images, just scrolling through them, and then I copied the image and pasted it into Discord, so I don't own those images. They're just random pictures. You can just Google carrier pigeons, and you'll probably find some of the carrier pigeons that I used. I didn't dig very deep for them. So, just get a good look at those carrier pigeons, and that's probably a carrier pigeon. That's probably what I used. This one has a typo in it because it says Lebeston instead of Lebestel. But here's another example of a note that I've sent. Let me see. So these are basically the gist of the carrier pigeons I would send. Is like a little bit of reaffirming their plots, their storylines that they're doing, and then a lot of when will you be online? Do you want to play tomorrow? And then they would respond in character. And then they would tell me if they were free tomorrow. And then I would be like, yay! Let us meet then. Huzzah! For Lebestel forever! Yeah. Do you may have me pointing my fingers together? Do you want to play together tomorrow? And sending a note like this, sending an in-character note, is a lot less pathetic than finger pointing right, finger pointing left emoji, pleading emoji. Are you gonna be online tomorrow? Do you maybe want to play dolls with me? So, if you're trying to slide into someone's DMs, you should try this method. Try looking up a piece of parchment paper and writing on it, and then sending it to someone, and then writing it in a way, and then you'd be like, do you want to duo queue with me maybe later? And then but you have to write it in character, and then see the success rate. Yeah, it works every time. Yeah, can we play Dollhouse together later? If you're free, please, pleading emoji. I would like to play Dollhouse with you. 1 second. Notice that I'm missing a bunch of supas in the moment. Him. Thank you, Quacky, for the super. I'm not your GM/DM, so I can't give you bonus XP for quality RP. But my code of honor as a DM cannot let this go unrewarded. Ah, thank you! Thank you very much! I hope one day I get to be a GM/DM as well. GM stands for Gmudin. Thank you, Ethan Steedman, for the Akasub. I love watching the entire thing. Congrats to all of you. Follow up with your relationship along with all the other relationships. But were they planned before or made up on the spot? They were made up on the spot. I would say majority of the relationships, if not all of the relationships, were just done spur of the moment as we were playing Dollhouse on Minecraft. that was... Did you have a script for the corruption arc inside the city? Which side? The player side? Or the side going into the final battle? No one knew what was going on. That was all God's plan. Staff Sam's plan. We didn't know anything about those cutscenes. We didn't know how the story was planned to end. It was all a surprise to us. Yeah. So, I think that is where a lot of people at the very end weren't sure how to finish or like tie up their storylines and their loose ends, because we were all just kind of, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen in the final battle, and if this is going to affect us at all, and what kind of implications that this final battle is gonna have for our roleplay. So we might as well just kind of get our things done, so they're just tie everything up right now, and then that way we just go into the final battle and work with what we have there. Wasn't it fun? Yeah, it was fun! It was so much fun! I really, really enjoyed it. When I play Minecraft normally, I'm not a Minecraft player. I feel in Minecraft, you have too much to do. Like, the possibilities of what you can do are endless. And when I am given too many possibilities, then I don't know what to do. And I don't really have any drive or ambition to play Minecraft normally. But I really, really, really enjoyed this Minecraft RP because it wasn't like normal Minecraft. That the gameplay was completely different from typical Minecraft. You follow the storyline, and you could only build in specific areas, and all of the ore, you just run around to find it. It really felt like an early MMORPG, which was awesome. And then everyone broke the economy by like day 4. So, in my response, in my feedback response, I said, can we make the economy more difficult so people struggle? Can we fix the economy, please? So that was in my feedback responses, asking the gods to make the economy more difficult so we can see people roleplay as struggling. I don't know. I think it's silly. I think it's funny when people are really engaging in like trade and stuff because they're like, I literally have no money, but I have 5 sticks. Do you want 5 sticks? And then you start begging. You're like, please, please, please give me your 5. Please give me some coin in exchange for my 5 sticks. I am starving. My family is starving. I really need the coin for bread. Everything is going wrong. Complete. Imagine. Yeah, at a certain point, resources were just very readily available, and coin was very readily available, that if someone asks you for something, you're like, sure. I have no need for it. I have 5 millions of this. You can have it. But imagine if there was another layer that everyone was struggling for resources, and then they're like, I can give you maybe 5 of them. Do you want... Here, have 5. And maybe by the end of it, people get rich easily. But I would hope that at least 5 days of everyone in poverty, only for my sick, twisted desires. It's my own wishes. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way I do when they're thinking of whatever feedback that they want to give, but in my head, I just imagine it as a very awesome, like an extra thing for them to roleplay off of. Since, you know, because people aren't very familiar with roleplay, everyone's roleplaying abilities vastly differs, their experience vastly differs from one another, is that I think that as long as whoever creates the game puts enough resources in, like just random things placed around that they can interact with and engage with, then they can easily create a plot line on themselves. So if there was like an economy crisis, they can easily grind a lot and make that a part of their character traits, or they're just perpetually poor and then they make that into their character trait, and you can use that as like a stepping stone for roleplay. And or there's like more random things for one to engage with that can build their character. That's just real life? No. This is our fantasy life. And then this was our enigmatic recollection, and then title screen. Everyone's facing away, looking to the sky. This was our enigmatic recollection. Vine boom. Credits roll. Thank you, Alvin, for the silver. I grew up doing RP over IRC. I remember switching to voice RP and the difference was jarring. You no longer get to think about it first. I love to see a collab between you and Liz where you just do improv games to practice. That would be a fun idea. That's a fun idea. Yeah, This was also my first time in voice RP, where there's like absolutely no time to think and you're just off the wall. I can't even proofread my words right now. I'm just gonna say it and hope for the best. It is a very different experience for sure. I remember my... No. My roleplay beginnings were on... My roleplay beginnings were Neopets. So that is where that's where it all started. It was Neopets. Yeah, Neopets had a roleplay thread. You know? It's very, very awesome. Yeah, so and then after Neopets, it was Gaia Online. And no one was surprised. The Gaia Online roleplay pipeline. And then after Gaia Online, it was DeviantArt. And that is where I got all of my roleplay experience from. Yeah, it's the pipeline of Gaia Online to DeviantArt. I'm sure most people experienced the same trajectory of roleplay. DeviantArt roleplay isn't the same anymore ever since they changed how the site looks. A lot of people used to make a bunch of groups on DeviantArt, and then people have been getting really involved with coding their journals and their sites to make really cool stuff. What people do for their roleplays is amazing. People go all out with the coding and the plot lines and creating resources for it, and then you just use it as your little playground. But I have never really roleplayed in a game before. I know this will come off as very surprising, but I have never roleplayed in Final Fantasy before because I never really understood how to roleplay in Final Fantasy. It's because it's like the main storyline is you are the warrior of light, and I never really it never clicked with me. When you're roleplaying with other people, are you all just warriors of lights, or what are you? Do you just make another character? What are you doing? What's the storyline for everyone that they're roleplaying in Final Fantasy? They're just adventurers? Are you the warrior of light in your roleplay? Are you an adventurer in your roleplay? Are you making a character that's an adventurer? You have to detach yourself from that? Okay. Yeah, when I was at my peak of playing Final Fantasy and my friends around me were roleplaying, I didn't really get into it because I couldn't quite detach my character from being the warrior of light. And then I would just like Squidward meme watch them play and roleplay, and I'm like, I don't get it. But I have been to the Final Fantasy clubs because they're really funny. Wait! I roleplayed once on Final Fantasy. I went with my friends to a maid cafe. And we sat there for 2 hours being served. And we're just discussing in party chat what we should order from the maid cafe. So So that is my experience with Final Fantasy RP. And then when people would make really, really silly housing plot events, I would go to them. I think one of them was... What was it? Like an IKEA event. Someone made an IKEA on their plot, and then I went, and then I would engage in it a little bit, being like, yeah, I would like to, I want to purchase... I would like to purchase one of your finest furnitures. So, that's everything that I have done on Final Fantasy. A maid cafe in an IKEA. Yeah, there is a lot of creativity in Final Fantasy. You can have anything you could possibly want. It was peak. It was peak and it was wonderful. I've seen people put on plays on Final Fantasy. I've never been to one though, because the times were a little strange, and when it came around, I was too lazy to log on. That is my greatest downfall, is being too lazy to hop onto Final Fantasy. Never played 14, cannot lose years of your life to MMOs. It's true. Final Fantasy is a commitment. And if it is your first time playing Final Fantasy, I foresee you losing at least a year or two to it as you are getting caught up and you get really immersed into it. I've reached a point where I have played for such a long time that I am losing... I don't know what I'm losing. I'm really sad about it. I'm really sad that I'm losing what I used to have for Final Fantasy. It holds very, very, very fond memories for me. It has a very special place in my heart, but I don't know what is going on. I'm losing it. Yeah, I used to play a bunch of Final Fantasy, and now I haven't even caught up to the recent X-Pack. And I've been telling myself that I'll catch up to the X-Pack, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it right now. Maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe I will find the spark that convinces me to go through it again. And I've been subscribed for maybe close to 8 years now. So I would say it's a very good track record of playing for as long as I did. And now I just upkeep my sub for my house. I don't know how much of that is active playtime. I log into my house and step into it, and then I log off, and then I'm like, phew, home ownership. Yeah. Just have to pay rent. It's my rent tax. My house rent tax. I can't lose my house. The crazy thing is that my house isn't even furnished. I just don't want to lose it. If you enter it, it's like... I blocked it off that you can't go anywhere else except this very, very tiny 4x4 at the entrance of the home. And then there's a bunch of paisas surrounding the Monster Hunter meat. And there's no music except the campfire playing. And it looks like they're worshipping a piece of meat in the darkness while light shines on them. So that is my house. There's nothing else in there except the Monster Hunter meat and a bunch of paisas around it. Yeah, and the ambient music. And I log in, I pay rent every month to keep that house. That has literally nothing in it. And it's beautiful. And it's wonderful. People will find it, not if I close it. You will never find it because I will never open it to the public. Not telling you where it is. You won't find it because the doors are closed. Yeah. That is my Final Fantasy experience. Anyways. Let us continue these questions. Just lost it. I've lost it. Where are you? This one. Hold on. I'm making it bigger. Now you guys can read this. Was it ever overwhelming being part of basically everyone's storylines in some way, especially on the last day? I would say on the first 7 days it wasn't overwhelming, but on the last day it was kind of, because we were running on a time deadline, and I did really want to help everyone complete their storylines, but there was a lot going on. And I was like, okay, I have to help. Literally, I have to help everyone to whatever they want to do. I will help you do it. But then I was getting entangled in like 3 different things happening at the same time. And I thought it was really funny that I would end a phone call, and then I would get another phone call, and I would be in the process of ending something, and then I would get a different phone call. It was really nice, though. It was really nice. And I thought it was very sweet that everyone was calling me to involve me in their little role plays. So I appreciate it, and I would rather be overwhelmed than not being a part of their role play. I just want to role play with. I just want to have fun. I just want everyone to have fun. Whoa, Otomos! Cece? Hello, Otomos! Hi! I hope you had a good time watching Cece play Monkey Game. I am currently answering some questions, going off topic a little bit, getting very distracted by random things that I am saying, but do not worry, Otomos! Me and Cece will be in a group collab tomorrow. We will be playing more Rabbit and Steel with the Bibu and Ina. And it'll be very chaotic. I don't know who is streaming it, though. Maybe I should ask. I will ask right now. Who's streaming the pod? Okay, I've asked. I've sent word. Me asking. Okay, well, just keep an eye out on one of our channels. It'll be on one of our channels. I don't know whose, and it will be at, I believe, it's starting at GGCC typical collab time, which is 1 hour before GG standard. GG -1! And it's gonna be on someone's channel, but the static thing will be GG -1. Here's this one. Another question. Setting this up. Setting this up. Squeezing it into the bubble. The first part of the question was if it was improvised, which we have discussed it. We've discussed the amount of improvisation that was going on. But here's the second part of the question. The recovery of your prose memory at the end is a happy ending. I'd like to ask what your thoughts are on this ending. Is there an alternate version of the final ending? I think overall the happy ending is cute and sweet And I know people were getting invested in Jonathan G's character arc where he was suffering through great tragedy for many hours, many days. That it's like a nice little palate cleanser. Where it's like, yay, what a good end to the first chapter. Yeah. If there is an alternate version to the ending, it would be that Jonathan G suffers more, but he overcomes, like, it's a part of the character building, that he becomes a more independent person and a stronger person. Right now, he is very much still lawfully good aligned, but if more tragedy had happened to him, I could see him towing the line of being a more morally gray character. But for now, he is just a very lawfully good character. And we have more chapters to see what happens. Ooh, what's gonna happen? But for the ending of chapter 1, I think ending chapter 1 on a lighter note is much better. Since this is everyone's, first experience with enigmatic recollection. That it does feel like a good, what a nice, pleasant overall stopping point for chapter 1. And then in chapter 2, we can see what happens if I decide to, I don't know, put some more depth into his character. Thank you, Dr. Cranberry! Jonathan G. The G stands for guts with how much he suffers. Suffering does build character! I do like, I do enjoy tragic characters, but I also understand that too much tragedy ends up... You are just too tragic, that you have to have a win sometimes. That way, it makes the tragedy all the sweeter. So we'll let Jonathan G have his little win today, so that if he were to encounter more tragedy, it will hurt even more. And then we can see if he diverges off his normal, lawfully good path. But me, as a writer, I am not very much of a... This is why I never became an author. I'm not very much of a world builder, because I come up with interactions that I want to see, and I come up with character arcs that I want to see, and then I don't want to build the world. World building is really hard. It's really difficult. People that can world build and spend so much time putting so much thought into their world are amazing, but I am very much of a I bet you could tell from the way I was writing, spitballing everything in those books, is that I really enjoy writing introspective thoughts when it comes to characters and personal character development arcs. So, while I was writing that, and while I was at the last few days when I got a more clear grasp on how Jonathan G was to work, is when I was coming to understand his character, and now it's a part of his canon where I do want to do something with the fact that Jonathan G is happy that they're all here together right now, and that no one has their memories, except the girls that have retrieved their memories. And I would like to think that he is actually a very selfish person, in that he hopes that no one else is to regain their memories because he doesn't want the current status quo to change. That I can envision multiple people seeing... Just depends on how they end up playing the return of their memories. I can see that as more and more people regain their memories, he may become a more, not a very good thought person. His thoughts will be more selfish, and then you're like, oh no, I can't cheer for you for this because you want, the downfall of other people because you selfishly want to stay in that moment. might not go this way. It's just a thought that I had, but it's like if I were to write a character story and I had full control over everything, I think I would create him in a way that he would be tragic and he would become a villain. But obviously, I am not the sole writer of this, and we are going to just go with everything. Because I still would like, when I'm doing this, it might get in the way of writing his story, is that I want to play in a way that uplifts other people. So we're just gonna have to see how the plot line goes. But I'm just saying, if I were to single-handedly write his character arc, he would become kind of a villain. But obviously, we can't really... So just imagine this. If you are a fanfic writer and you want some... like, some food on you wanting to write the story. Because I understand when I see, you know, Teen Wolf actors go to conventions and talk about their headcanons of how events happen, and then I'm like, wow, this is so much food for me to think about and like create new things from it, even though I know it's not canon. So just take what I'm saying is not canon as just like extra inspiration and extra food for if you are inspired and you want to write something, and mayhaps you can write a AU of where this happens and then you share it with everyone. Yeah. But if I were... So just continuing on, if I were to write him, it would end up with everyone kind of regaining their memories, and then they're obviously not the same as they were, and then Jonathan G feels like he doesn't really have a place around them anymore, or really has a place, because as he is now, he is just the knight everyone were to rely on, and he selfishly just wants people to rely on him and not feel so alone and like in these lost memories of his, and continue on, and then people get their memories back, and then they are obviously happy, but he feels like sad that they've achieved such a thing. Have to think when I recover my memories too. Don't worry, I have a few thoughts on that. But Jonathan G, as he is now, is not gonna get his memories back for a while. So it's like the perfect opportunity to build him up as this character, even though in the end that he is gonna have to encounter what they're going to as well. And then I think a very, very good question is if he'll even want to recover his memories, seeing what everyone has been through. Will Jonathan G do his dungeon to recover his memories? I don't know. We just don't know. So those are some thoughts you can think about if you want to, like, if it inspires you to write something. Thinking in my head now. Pondering, wondering. Yeah. As he is right now, he is just a very lawful good character that everyone just cheers on because you're like, wow, he is such a... he's such a good person. He needs a win and he has done nothing wrong. All he is just a stupid, gullible knight. But some of my favorite characters are characters that make very, very human and selfish decisions. And, I've talked about it briefly, but no spoilers, okay? No spoilers. I think Nier Replicant does a really good job at showing people making very human decisions. And they're selfish. And there's like a lot of characters in general where you don't particularly agree with what they're doing, but you understand why they are doing the thing that they're doing. And then just a little bit of... Just... Guys, we have to read so that we can obtain media literacy when the bad person does a bad thing, but he is not just a bad person. You know, it's just like the morally gray part of it. Wouldn't it be so awesome? So those are my thoughts. my thoughts on characters, on flawed characters. I think flawed characters are very, very interesting, and when you get to read about their thoughts on why they do such things, it's all the sweeter. It is all the sweeter. Do I plan on reading the fanfics? No. I don't think I would ever be able to read something that is based off of me or people I know. I know they exist, but I don't think I could ever bring myself to read them. But I hope what I am saying it gives you a little bit of juices, creative juices. Because I know that if I was in a position where, like, Teen Wolf actor Dylan O'Brien were to talk about headcanons of Teen Wolf, I would eat that up and go, it is time to create. I'm just trying to write an analogy here, okay? This is just an analogy. An analogy of, GG is to... An enigmatic recollection, GG is to Teen Wolf Dylan O'Brien. Yeah, surely. So I hope that you can... It inspires you to stop. I've been seeing all the art though. The art is so wonderful and beautiful, and people are really, really getting into it, and it's... Keep it up. It does tug at my heartstrings too to see your interpretation of the scenes that have happened. What is the next question? Setting this up. This is a... Trying to fit this in the bubble. Here we go. Would love to know if Jonathan G differs and appears to standard GG in your mind beyond the cloak, and if so, in what ways? Jonathan G? The Jonathan G in my mind was a complete different entity. Which doesn't make sense, because it is just me. If I were to try and think of people draw. This is what I've noticed. This is like even outside of this RP, is that people, I've seen a lot of people draw me as really handsome. There's like some really, really handsome GG arts, and that's something I never expected. But I'm like, damn, is this how you guys interpret me? Am I handsome? And I'm not gonna lie, seeing all the handsome GG art has definitely kind of swayed how I would think of future outfits. It's like, wow. I think it would be really, really cool if in a future outfit I had some cool pants. And maybe show my tummy. Well, that's only because I think, you know, the outfits that are like the silhouette of baggy pants and then the very tight top and the silhouette looks really, really good. That's my idea. And then people can draw really handsome arts of that. It will look really good. Look awesome. Just a vague idea in my head. Something I've been vaguely thinking about. I don't know if I can. Let me see. One second. Before I accidentally completely Oh. Thank goodness. I was opening a window capture, and I was really scared I would dock something. You know the silhouette I'm talking about? It's like this. So here's GG head, and then here's GG body, and it would be like that, but then very, very baggy. So the silhouette looks like this, kind of. Maybe even chunky shoes. Big pant! Big pant! And then there's another. What was I thinking of? Do you guys know what's the character's name? I really, 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 really like the design of the FGO summer unit that looks like just the saber face, where she has like, she's really sporty. Her tummy is showing, and she's only showing one leg. Like her pants are what's her name? What is her name? It's the is it? Yes, it is Summer Artoria Caster. Please look her up. I see her, and I think that is peak design. Like, this is the best summer outfit I have ever seen. It is so good. Everything about it. It's the first stage also, not the other stages. The first stage of her where she is like the cropped sweater into the swimsuit, into the one leg completely out. Awesome. Awesome and wonderful, and that is beautiful, and she is beautiful. Next. Oh wait, I didn't even answer this question. Yeah. So I just envision Jonathan G as a handsomer GG. A handsomer GG. Maybe. I don't know. More handsome. Sorry, I don't have a better. I would like to see Jonathan G with a ponytail though. As like when Jonathan G is working very hard in the mines, I want to see what a ponytail looks like. And handsome. So that is Jonathan G in my head. That is Jonathan G. I am going to say something so sacrilegious right now, answering this question, that everyone is going to be question marking me. Sorry. I'm sorry in advance for answering this question in such a way. Just know that I mean no ill will. Is the character of Jonathan G based on Jonathan Joestar? GG has never watched JoJo before. I've never seen JoJo before. In my life. I'm sorry. I've never watched JoJo before. I've just recently started Code Geass. I am watching Code Geass for the first time right now. I have seen so many spoilers of Code Geass, and I've looked up spoilers of the main two guys because I want to know what's going on between them in the past. And I know enough about Code Geass through osmosis because it is very popular, but it is my first time watching it. But it's better late than never, right? It's better that I watch it now than never watching it. So I am watching it now, and maybe I'll watch JoJo next, which I also know through osmosis. What's the JoJo opening? I know some of the JoJo openings specifically because of anime song guessing game. What's the one with the horse in the background? What season is that? I'm washed. I haven't played anime song guessing game in a really long time. The horse. Is it? The one with the horse where he's like... I don't know what a horse sounds like. Guys, if you want things to do with your friends, you should play anime song guessing game. I will always shill it, even though I've never... I mean, I haven't played in a long time, but I have a lot of memories of it. A lot of fond memories of just brain off, playing 100 song lobbies, just doing other work while everyone is guessing song names. And then I think it was like a couple of years ago where we would be sitting and work calling and like maybe drawing and stuff, and I have this friend that has every single Prince of Tennis season on her list, as well as every single Initial D season on her list. And seeing her when those songs come up, seeing her get really into it and going, oh, it's Prince of Tennis, I don't know what season it is, I think it's this. Yeah, that's the best thing about it. What are the other questions? This is a couple years ago, but I would love to play anime song guessing games to bond. I wonder if anyone would do it with me. I'm going to go and make myself very... I'm gonna pleading emoji, finger pointing right, finger pointing left next to in every single person's DMs, and I'm like, do you wanna just shoot the shit? Do you wanna do you wanna play? Are you free tonight to not do anything? Do you just wanna play a game? Finger pointing right, finger pointing left. I see people mentioning Rene. We are thinking about a time to play together. I don't know when, but we are talking about it. We're talking about it. I don't know what we're doing. Just know that I am in her DMs. I am all up in her DMs. Rubbing my little fly hand emoji. Let me see. I'm getting another question. I'm trying to cut this down so that it fits in the speech bubble. Hey, Gigi, you really invested me and a lot of other people with your roleplay in Enreka. Do you see yourself doing more roleplay content in the future? You're really good at it. Oh, thank you. Thank you for thinking so. I like RPG games. Do those count as roleplay content? The thing about roleplay content with other people is that it runs the same exact problem as a real life D&D group. You know? It's the scheduling and availabilities. It runs the exact same problem. Yeah, it's if I were to do with other people, it's just completely up in the hands of the Lord of Scheduling and time commitment, which is very difficult. But I like RPG games. I haven't really roleplayed as a more serious character because of fear. I've talked about it before, is that I think when I play games, I make a character, and it's not me. I never roleplay as myself. Like, I don't self-insert because that is not my journey. It's someone else's journey. So if I'm playing something like Pokemon too, I don't name the character after me. I just give it like a cute little nickname. And then that's their story. And then I turn them into like a Pokemon OC. Rather than me self-inserting into like the Pokemon game and I'm the Pokemon champion. No, that's my OC that is going through this. So when I play RPGs, I tend to make OCs as well. And I believe that when you are playing an RPG and you make your own OC, it is like giving a little part of yourself, a little bit of your soul, because you're getting really invested into your OC story, and then it's like playing with dolls and you're showing a bunch of random strangers, and you're like, yeah, this is my OC, and they're kind of like a Mary Sue, but this happened to them, and this happened to them, and this is my idea of them, and then you just sit there and you wait for someone to clap, or sometimes they just look at you and you're like, oh, yeah, it was cringe, yeah, and then you like kick a rock as you walk away, and you like look back and they're like just staring at you, and you're like, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to, I was just joking, it wasn't serious, it wasn't a serious... So that is how I feel about really getting into a roleplay when I'm roleplaying a character. And then there's also the added factor of everyone, not everyone, but it's very prevalent, is that I'm sure you cannot escape this ever, wherever you go, if you are a streamer, is that when you play games, there are people backseating you in said game. But when it comes to role-playing games, you're like, but what about my roleplay? Why are you backseating my roleplay? Yeah, that is also an issue when it comes to RPGs. It's like, you should do this. Yeah, maybe I should do this, but will my character do this? Should my character do this too? What do you think my character wears to bed? Do you have the answer to that? Does my character's parents beat them? Do you have the answer to that too? And then they're like, you're not min-maxing this correctly. And you're like, but does my character have the mental capacity to do this? Yeah, so that is kind of also, I think, a dilemma when it comes to RPG games, is that people really want you to do something, but in your head you are thinking, what about my OC? This is my OC. This isn't your OC. So that's why so far I am playing Fallout New Vegas as a silly little alien, and then everyone can collectively kind of tell me what to do, and I don't care because it's just a silly little alien. And the alien does listen to the voices in his head. I played it in a way that you telling me what to do is actually true to what the alien will do. But more serious RP, I don't know. When it comes to RPG games, I'm still a little... I'll have to find my footing on how to approach that and how to play that out. For things such as like campaigns and sessions, it really depends on if we can get over the D&D scheduling problem. Thank you for the gifts! I appreciate it! Welcome. Welcome to the shoebox, everyone. Welcome to joining the shoebox. I hope you enjoyed it here. We have burnt marshmallows 3 times a day. Sometimes pizza boxes. Oh! Very, very recent addition is that apparently no one knew, but we have there are pee pads in the corner, and you have to set up a routine chore board to dictate who's going to clean up that corner, because you will have to throw it away, and it's like garbage day, there's trash day. So don't worry. I'm not torturing you. You guys, you keep the cleanliness of the shoebox according to how you want to keep it clean. But do try very hard to talk it out with the other fellow Grems on how you are planning on keeping the shoebox clean at all times. Yeah, that's my job. No, it's your job. I give you guys a garbage can and everything, and you just have to toss it in the garbage can, and then I clean out the garbage can for you. That's my job, is putting it out into the larger garbage can outside. Your job is to keep everything inside the shoebox as clean as you want for living conditions. It is your guys' shoebox. Your shoebox. I am not... yeah. Since it is technically also kind of my shoebox, I am not going to listen to any further complaint. It's your guys' problem. You have to deal with it, or you can suffer. That is just how it's gonna be. Where's the bottle of water? Water. Cutting this question down so it fits in the box. Okay. Now that chapter 1 is over, do you feel as if it brought you even closer to your fellow Hollow EN members? Also, what kind of attire / fashion style does Jonathan G have? I do feel as if it did bring me closer to some members, because there is a few members that I haven't really spoken to before. But then we got to interact a lot through it, and now I feel a lot braver to go into their DMs rather than before, where we didn't really have many interactions. And now I just feel less shy to bust down the doors to their DMs. It will take maybe some time to get something set up, but I will slowly make my way into their homes. Figuratively, not literally. I will slowly, figuratively make my way into their homes. And then, what kind of attire / fashion style does Jonathan G have? I think Jonathan G, you know, it would be kind of like a little... I would say that his attire is a little tattered and rugged, both rugged and ragged, because of all the physical work that he is doing around the kingdom. Like how he goes to mine to make money, and how he is always fighting things. So I can see his stuff kind of tattered. But I envision him... he can be wearing pants. And just a very humble, normal attire. I would like to see him in some armor, though. Armor would be cool. Does he wear the armor often? I don't know. Armor would be cool, though. I also have the opinion... this is completely unrelated to literally anything about this, but since we're on the topic of armor, I think... like... the more covered you are, the hotter you are. The sexier you are, even. Does anyone... do you get me? Do you understand? Like, a full suit of armor is way hotter than... a person not wearing armor. And then if they like took off their glove or something and you got to see their hand and you're like, dang, that is really, that's awesome. But if they took off their helmet, I think they should keep their helmet on 90% of the time. I think maybe 95% of the time they should keep their helmet on. And they should probably actually 97% of the time they should keep their entire plate of armor on. Their entire armor set should stay on. Like, more is more. Covering up is awesome. That being taken out of context makes me sound like a prude. I don't know how else to say this when your character is just completely clothed and then you see a little sliver of ankle. And you're like, damn. Cover up, wench! Yeah. My thoughts. I mean, I can appreciate a beautiful anime girl in a bikini, but I also appreciate a completely clothed person showing a tiny sliver of skin. That is not to say... I have a lot of conflicting thoughts, is that I really like when they are completely clothed, showing a tiny bit of skin, but I like bikini armor. Depending on the character, I can enjoy some bikini armor. So it is. I just have two very completely different wolves inside of me that are barking. When that's like, put on your full suit of armor, or it's like, yes, put on your bikini armor. Bikini armor is fine too. There are two wolves inside of you. One of the wolves wants you to wear bikini armor. The other wolf wants you to wear full plate of armor, full suit of armor. The wolf doesn't know what to do. It is confused. Have I played Monster Hunter? I have! I will probably play the new Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Wilds, but I don't know if I can play the old Monster Hunters because the main story quest is really long. And I don't got the dog in me to watch a bunch of cutscenes. But when the new Monster Hunter comes out, I will play the new Monster Hunter. You can skip them? You can't! You can't skip the Monster Hunter cutscenes, can you? The last time I tried playing was very recently, and I was just stuck in those cutscenes for like... forever. Yeah, you cannot skip them. You cannot skip the cutscenes. It is unfortunate. But I will play Monster Hunter Wilds. It's called Wilds, right? The games I'm looking forward to playing in the future are Monster Hunter Wilds, and I want to play Poe 2. I would like to play Poe 2. Those are my wants. Those are my upcoming wants. Let me see. I also got some more. Some shupas to get to. Oh, let me see. Thank you, Meepy, for your super. For your question of did anyone cry during it. I don't know what other people said, but I did cry for like 2 days straight. You're an absolutely phenomenal actor and writer. How do you write so many good lines in such a short time? Oh, thank you! I'm happy to hear that you cried for 2 days straight. That's what I'm saying about a no attachment cry. Because, you know, anyone can cry because of sad things going on in life, but do you actually want to cry because of real life issues, real life problems? No, that sucks. That's lame. So I'm glad that you got to no attachment cry to Minecraft RP. Yeah. I appreciate the kind words too. That everyone seemed to enjoy I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what I wrote. It all happened very spur of the moment, very, very quickly, and I was, it took me like, what, 5 to 10 minutes to write those things? And a lot of things are happening. Lots of adrenaline, lots of pressure, lots of, the pressure to perform, the pressure to actually write something. And I didn't want to spend too much time thinking about what to write. As you can probably tell from when I was writing it, is that I was just typing as I was talking. And I was putting the first words that were coming into my head onto that piece of paper. And there was like very little times that I would erase something. Because I didn't want to stall on that scene for too long. And so, because I didn't want it to be too long of a writing session where you see me just sitting there thinking really hard and erasing things 10 times in a row, that I just, stream of consciousness, mashed something onto a piece of paper. And then I finished it, and I signed it. I didn't even read it a second time. I could have proofread it, fix a bunch of punctuation, fix a bunch of word placement, fix some words wherever, but I didn't feel like proofreading it because I don't like reading my writing. So I just signed it, I just sent it off, and I was like, okay, phew, finished my story point. I very vaguely remember what I wrote. Like, I get the essence of what I wrote, the feeling of what I wrote, but I don't know... I don't remember exactly what was on those pages. But it makes me happy that people enjoyed, and I hope in some way, if it touched your heart, then thank you for allowing my words to touch your heart in such a way. Pointing my fingers together. Pointing my fingers together. It's very... I don't know. I will just say that it was a very, very... It's a happy experience for me. Very surreal experience. I remember for when, I never know if I should be talking about this stuff, and I'm like afraid, like I'm half afraid that if I talk about this stuff, someone will come to me and then beat me. Just kidding, they wouldn't do that. But what if I got in trouble? So that's why I'm always hesitant to talk about stuff like this, but I don't think it's wrong to talk about stuff like this. It was when I was I suppose, interview and audition for my recent one. You know, the one that mattered. Is that in the audition and the interview, in the video itself, I had a portion where I actually wrote something. Like, it was very, very styled in the way of Disco Elysium style of writing, and then I had set it up in a way where it's just like 2 minutes of me reading something that I had wrote and editing it in that way. And then when I was when they were talking to me, I was saying how much I loved writing and storytelling, and I hope to one day be able to share my passion of storytelling and do something more with it in the future, and reach more people with my storytelling. So that's why it feels very, very kind of surreal to me that it was like one of the things that I had mentioned as something that I was passionate about was storytelling, and then it kind of happened. It kind of happened here. that I was able to storytell. I didn't think that I would be used as the vessel to communicate it, though. Gonna be honest, when I am writing, I never envision myself in those stories. So, me being the vessel of the character arc and then being the person to voice them, I think if I were to write something, I would never expect my voice to be the one that came out of my character. So acting it out was also a very different experience in itself. Yeah, life is strange. Title drop. Title drop. Life is strange. So, to think about people getting attached to it, but then I am the vessel that is the one conveying it, and you are hearing everything, you're seeing stuff from my point of view and through my voice, is kind of like I know people have been making some video edits on Twitter, and I would watch them and the videos are very beautiful, but then I would hear myself and I'm like, ooh. Yikes. Hearing the voice saying the words that I had written and crafted, you know, it's like if you read something you wrote, or like you read something out loud of something that you wrote and someone recorded it, and it's kind of like a vulnerable writing, a piece of writing, and then they're like, check this out, I really enjoyed you reading this, and then you're like, ooh, I don't want to hear myself read that out loud. Yeah, very, very crazy. But thank you guys. Thank you for the words of support and enjoying it. It means a lot to me. It does. It means a lot. Here's another question. Really love the role you played out as Jonathan G. I hope we'll get to see more of his story in the future with less angst, mayhaps. Ooh, I do not know. Suffering builds character. Well, thank you, Fijo, for the super. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe by the time the next chapter comes out, I would have thought more about Jonathan G and his character personality and his motivations and flesh him out a little more, and that maybe I can write a little something, like just a little happy side story before the main thing begins, and then you guys can go, yay, Jonathan G! And then everything is completely different in the in the actual thing. I don't know. There is a lot of... Since we only have chapter 1 as our example, we obviously don't know what's gonna happen going forward into chapter 2. We need at least 2, you know? We need at least 2 things to compare with each other and to know how to truly act going forward, because we'll have the examples of the 2 prior ones. So I think we are still in kind of a... myself, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone. I am definitely in kind of like the limbo phase of not knowing what to expect from the coming chapters. But I hope that chapter 1 has, you know, gotten people more comfortable with the systems and more comfortable with getting into character and just role-playing and not just having a good time. And then we'll see what happens after chapter 2. Yeah, we'll see. Thank you, Space Ace for the Super. Hi, Gigi. I love seeing the ripple effect your enthusiasm for roleplay caused during the event. I also loved your RP and Justices all together in Faunus Dungeon. Do you think you'll stream more tabletop-style content? The answer is... maybe. I don't know. I am very vaguely cooking something. I wouldn't say that it's a tabletop thing, but there is something that I want to do next month, and please look forward to it. It is still being cooked in the kitchen, but it will be for Gigi's birthday. I am planning for it to release around then. Yes. For this thing that I am cooking. Do not, because it's my very first time, I don't want to get people's hopes up. It's my first time gonna be cooking something and hosting something, so look forward to it, but with apprehension. with your expectations low. Look forward to it moderately. Please moderately look forward to it. Yes. But I hope that I can do something fun next month. I will say that it is not a tabletop session. It is just something silly that I am inviting some people to join and have fun, have silly fun. Look forward to it with moderate expectations. Let me see what other question there is. Oh, there is this question. Very short question. I will still fit it on the screen. I love the catchphrase of Huzzah and how it spread to everyone else so quickly. How did this catchphrase come to mind? There is a shitpost about not a couple months ago, but like, I don't know how recent it was. I remember seeing this shitpost being spread around where it's like how to medieval RP words to use to spice up your medieval RP, and then one of them was huzzah, and then it just imprinted into my mind from that shitpost. And then I was just like, this is my character Bible. This shitpost is my character Bible. Let me see if I can find it actually. I look up huzzah in a channel, maybe I can find it. Let's see. Where is it? Maybe it's not in here. If I was a shitpost, where would I be? Okay, well, I can't find it. I tried really hard. But what I did find is that I used huzzah a long time ago for funsies. So it has always been on my mind. But the shitpost is what brought it to the forefront of my mind. And then I just thought about it a lot. And then I just kept saying huzzah. And then huzzah! Huzzah! And now it's in everyone's mind. It has been, because it's like a word that everyone knows exists, they just never use it. But now you can use it because it's now on everyone's mind again. this one. Oh, I did not. Sorry, I meant to hide this before. Now you get to watch me. Okay. Sorry. You guys were just talking very long that you broke out of the bubble. You broke out of the bubble. Hey, when deciding on what type of character Jonathan should be, did you decide on the spot, or was it something you had in mind ahead of time when the event was announced? It was pretty much kind of on the spot. The medieval RP was thought up maybe 30 minutes before I started stream, because I was still very much struggling on what angle to take my character. And I was like, what is a very extreme way that I can RP and it's very, very known that I am RPing? And how do I RP in a way that makes people comfortable to RP back at me? And the very clear answer to me was talking in a medieval way, very extremely, and just all around being silly, so that others would feel like, oh, I'm going to be silly too. So the main thought is, how am I gonna do it in a way that encourages other people to just kind of also RP back at me? And what am I gonna do that's really, really easy, that I don't really have to think too hard on, and is just can be shown a lot, rather than having to, you know, go into the character mind dialogue. I don't know. I feel like a lot of what I was doing was, I suppose, showing rather than what is it? No, telling rather than showing. Yeah, because I think a lot of people are like, show, don't tell when it comes to character stories, because blah 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 blah, exposition, thumbs down. But I think in the setting and for everyone around, that it was better. In my head, it would be better for me to do a lot of telling, just to get people into, like, the scene more. That was just my way of role-playing. My way of choosing how to bring my character is, how do I pull more people into this interaction, and how can I support them so that they may also blossom and bloom and have fun. So that is kind of how I angled it. But the character quirk was definitely decided 30 minutes before the first day, the first stream start. You see, the part... if you watched my day one POV, you saw that I started in a white room. Yeah, that was also very on the spot, because I was thinking like, okay, how do I set it up in a way that it is very obviously this RP? How do I set up this setting? And then everything after that was just, I was being molded by everyone else around me. So it is thanks to the people that were interacting with me that turned Jonathan G into the way that he was, because I wanted to make myself the best that I could possibly be to help others. Like, if Crony didn't become the queen, if she wasn't so all in on being the queen, would I have been a loyal knight? I don't know. She probably wouldn't have been a loyal knight, but because she was so all in on being a Queen Tam Ganders, it was very easy to build off of that. And I was like, okay, you inspire me, and I am going to be your most loyalist of knights. And then, based off of what other people would do, I would build around it. Like, did I expect the marriage? I was not expecting Jonathan G to get married, but Jonathan G got married, and then it became an extension of his character, and now he is a husband. And then I know there's the setup of Jonathan G potentially being an abusive husband, or that he was about to get his wife stolen away from him through that RP thing. And then I was also like, okay, maybe he is an abusive husband. But if he was an abusive husband, he wouldn't be aware of it because that's just the way he is. So we're just gonna play around it and then see where it goes. Yeah! I always attempted to... I don't know if I was successful in doing this, but I would like to believe that I was, is that when I was, like, calling people, I would always try to give them a way out. So if I were to call someone and then I'd be like, oh, may I do this? Would it be okay if I did this? That way they can say, they can come up with anything that would have me not go along with it. Like, they can say, oh, no, it's okay, you don't have to do this, I'll be okay. Or, no, I'm just gonna do this now. And then I would have dropped it there completely, so that I wouldn't be, like, forcing my way into interactions unless they were okay with it. So I always try to give enough room for someone to just say no to me, and then I would take that no, and then I would just do something else. But if my intention was not conveyed properly and they felt pressured into allowing me, then I am sorry. If anyone is watching this, I hope you know you can always say no to me and I will back off completely. Yeah. I never want someone to feel as if they, like, are being backed into a wall in needing to talk to me. And because it is RP, you can just make up whatever, and it is, there's no hard feelings. It is Jonathan G. Jonathan G will just fuck off. He doesn't care. He's getting gold swords to feed his family. Yeah, Jonathan G can do, I don't know, build the statue of his queen, make some more gold swords, monologue to himself, standing in a corner. He doesn't mind. He was just a happy guy. He's just a little guy. He's just trying to have a good time. Why was Jonathan spelled like that and not Jonathan? You just spelled you spelled the same thing twice. Why was Jonathan spelled like Jonathan but not the same Jonathan? He was spelled like Jonathan. That's Jonathan. That is Jonathan. I'm skimming through these questions because I feel like I answered a lot of these questions and me yapping already. So I'm scrolling through. I guess I can go more in detail of this. I'm hiding the bubble. Sorry, I will not ruin your immersion. What was your history? Was role-playing in general? What was the inspiration for Jonathan G? And where you have seen your character of the story went further in chapter 1? I talked about my roleplay experience, but I can go a little in detail about it. Little in depth is that a lot of my roleplay is kind of similar to, like, forum roleplay. So it's very centered around your own character's POV, and you would, like, type out their actions, and you would have them thinking to themselves a lot, or, like, thinking about the situation around them while trying to involve the people that are talking to you. So that is why I am more comfortable with, like, a single person POV, because I'm familiar with character building and character arcs. Is that I really like making a character and then injecting them with a bunch of trauma just to see how they finding out why they act the way that they do and what actions they pick, and thinking about what character arcs they're gonna have and how they will resolve it, and if they're going to become a villain or if they're gonna become a good person or if they're just gonna die. Awesome. It's awesome. Yeah! Me slapping the hood of my OC, we can spit so much trauma into this bad boy! What was the inspiration of Jonathan G? I didn't really have a clear inspiration of a person in my head. I was just imagining a very, very good, kind-hearted person. Very lawfully good, goes along with anything person, just to fit my need of my... It was my own desire! To fit my own selfish desires of being an easy-to-roleplay with person. So that I can talk to people and yap. So that is how Jonathan came to be. It's just purely through my own whims. He's just a vehicle for my whims. Mine own evil plans. Considered making him an abuser? Hey! If that is the way that they want to go with the story, who am I to say no? It is always... okay, but how? Yes, and then we just work around it. Yeah, if that is how they wanted to spin the story, then I will go, okay. Scratching my head, this is how it happened. Where would I see my character of the story went further in chapter 1? What is further? Because there is a very, very clear end point. Would it just be like that the roleplay lasted longer, that he could have developed more? Or that it went further than where the ending point was of chapter 1? I think that is the main thing that I had questions about too, is that I was like, what are these character arcs and how much do they impact our characters and what's gonna happen to them? What's happening to our characters? A few more days before the finale. I guess the problem with my character, with Jonathan, was that everything around him, that he was like a supporting player in a bunch of storylines. And I don't think I created a storyline myself, really. That is to say, that if I had a few extra days, it would hinge entirely on how people planned on playing their storylines. And then, based off of their storylines, is how I would further his character more. And then... So, I guess the main thing is that if there were a few more days, we would have had more days to really flesh out the corruption arc. Instead of the corruption arc kind of happening in the last two-ish days. And then it having to be resolved before because we didn't really know what was gonna happen after we got sucked into the final battle. So, it does feel like the corruption arc there could have been a little more days of build-up for the corruption arc if it was longer. Is the only thing I could see. And then Jonathan's character depends entirely on how that corruption arc plays out, because you can play it out in so many ways. Is like, oh, he's losing everything to corruption and his loved one doesn't remember him, and he is like, he's lost his princess, and he's lost, the queen is no longer here, and everyone he's trying to open up to is being corrupted too and can't even save anyone. So it can be played like that angle, or he could go, I am going to be a hero and save them all, even if it costs me my life. Or he could become like angry that he's not able to do anything, and he's like a side of him where he confronts someone and he actually gets angry and begins being like, why are you like this? Who have you become? You know? There's many ways that the RP could have been taken, and I was ready for any angle. I was prepared for whatever angle was to pop up, but it entirely depended on how the plot played out and how Everyone else around me wanted to play the plot out. Even the pregnancy? Yes. I brought it up earlier. If they really wanted to make a pregnancy arc happen, and they RP'd it in a way that Jonathan was pregnant, I suppose we would just had to have been impressed. I was willing. I was kind of on the negative side that I didn't really, you know, like, I didn't think Jonathan would be pregnant, but I was willing. I would not have said a firm, I would not have given them a firm no. I would be willing to play along with the pregnancy. Yes. So, if it just ended up being that way, I suppose that there is a timeline where Jonathan G could have been pregnant. It is not our timeline, but there is a timeline out there that he was pregnant. Yes, the fan art could have been very different because he became such a way. Thank you, not a space alien for the Akasuba. All hail, Sir Jonathan G, brave knight of Lava, still protector of the pearl and speller of the bee, fisker of the stains. Huzzah! 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 Good day! I think one thing that I would like, I don't know what's possible because I don't know, like, you know, I've never played Minecraft in depth. I know nothing about Minecraft modding. Don't know anything about it. I would like, if it's possible, if the weapons are like signature weapons could do damage when there's no revelation. Like, we could use it as a weapon. It can be done. Hopefully we get more use out of those weapons. Is it possible for them to like be able to merge their custom weapon with a sword? Because I can imagine if you craft a diamond sword and then you merge it with your weapon, and then your weapon does as much damage as the sword that you're merging it with. Is how I can see them working out the balancing on it, because I know that they probably didn't want, they wanted you to have like a natural progression of weapons. So I hope in the future, like, you craft a weapon and then you can forge it with your signature weapon, and then your weapon does as much damage as the highest tier thing you can craft. Some weapons aren't physical though. It's okay. They can do the physical amount of damage. Or is that... maybe they can function the same way as bows. And they do the same amount of damage as bows. Because now I'm thinking about balancing issues. If you do the same amount of damage with your ranged weapon from far away. So maybe just like the same as a bow. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about Minecraft. Just an idea that I came up with right now. Right now! On heals though? The people that buff others is just going to have to punch with their hands. They're just gonna have to punch with their hands. Or yeah, they can throw an apple. Why not throw an apple? Thank you, Lord Seth, for the super. Hey GG, congrats on a little RP. My question for you is from F8 when Iris appeared and tried to humorously steal Pearl away. What were your thoughts on that scene, both in characterly and out of characterly? In character is Jonathan was feeling a little betrayed in that moment that the hot pink one would do such a thing because he trusted in the hot pink one, and he can't believe that the hot pink one would take advantage of this, and he wouldn't know because he fully trusted in the hot pink one. And out of characterly, I thought it was so funny. I thought it was hilarious. I love Iris. I think it was really funny of her to do that, and I don't know. I the way her voice is so good. The way that she speaks, I don't know. I love the way she talks. So the entire time I'm like, wow, keep talking. That is how I feel. Oh, thank you, Ham J, for the Akasuba. I loved Enreco and you're a major part of why. Congrats, thank you! Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm going to answer a few questions through these supas before I feel like I should wrap up soon. So let me get to these questions. I'll probably do a proper super chat reading at another time, another day and time. But you guys can look forward to me slowly getting back into normal GG scheduled streams. There are collabs this week, and I don't know what else. A schedule maybe later tonight. I think a schedule later tonight. Yeah. And we are going to return to Fallout New Vegas. I don't know what day. Potentially Wednesday or Friday. That is what you can look forward to. Very admirable how you handled helping people ease into RP. I know that can be pretty tough, especially when you're used to some forms of etiquette which people new to RP just won't know yet. Oh, thank you, Floofy Hooch, for the super. Thank you. Honestly, I don't even know what RP etiquette is. Is it just something you learn over time? Is there like a rule book that someone follows when it comes to RP etiquette? I guess that my perceived etiquette of RP is just through experience that I've personally been through. Dunno. Yeah, I guess it's just like something that you feel out and you grow over time from RPing a bunch. Don't steal other people's agency. A very good one. You never want someone to feel like they are out of control of their character, and then they get frustrated because they feel like they're not able to play in a way that they want to, and then they don't want to play anymore. I think that is a good way, a good rule of thumb when it comes to roleplay is always to try and not make people feel bad about the roleplay, a little left out, and you never want someone to feel less just because they're role-playing. This is not anything to do with Enreco. This is my own experience with being in like other roleplay circles. Is that I feel like people that roleplay a lot really get into their character, that they end up, if your character has a fight with their character, sometimes they take it really personally. It's something that happens kind of frequently, is that they just get way too in their character, and then you start having IRL beef because you don't like their character in character, but you're like, oh yes, of course I like your character out of character, but they can't. There's like, some people have a really hard time separating in character and out of character. That leads to a bunch of unnecessary drama. And then there's a lot of time where someone is role-playing, but they still are role-playing with their own personal ideals. That, like, imagine someone is having a sad moment and they're interacting with that person in that sad moment, but they don't want that character to feel sad, that they start role-playing their character out of character using a bunch of, like, big words and big and grand words that are getting like too philosophical, and they're trying to be really nice and saying stuff like, yeah, it just happens that life ends up being that way, but I really believe in you, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that, you know? Where their usual character would not have spoken of stuff like that, but they're like really into their IRL ideals, and then they it makes some scenes like, oh, why is everyone talking like a therapist all of a sudden? Why is everyone talking like a therapist in RP all of a sudden? And I don't know, I feel like sometimes you just have to accept that your character doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, and then if someone is like trauma dumping them, you just go like, oh, that sucks. But I get it. It's like their character is having an emotional moment of wanting to open up, and you kind of want to give them that chance to open up, but it's like a fine line of how do I do it, but in a way that how do I keep this character liking me? And I think when it comes to RP, it does become a bit of a problem that it can sometimes feel like, I don't know, a popularity contest when it comes to RPs in a bunch of circles, where you want your character to be liked because you want to roleplay with other people, and you want people to be interested in your character. So that's why you keep trying to do stuff that will make other people invest into your character, which is always a big problem. So I hope that I can kind of include everyone in the RP so no one feels left out and feel such a way that they don't like RPing because, you know, I just think it's like something that happens often in RP, and not even in this. It's like RP in general is that I've seen it happen a lot. I've seen the exact situation pan out a bunch of times in a bunch of different groups of people where it just kind of ends up being in such a way is that like it's just like the natural need for someone to feel like they want to feel that other people are into them, into their characters and stuff, and they want to play with them. Roleplay is supposed to be fun! It should be fun! You should be having a good time! If you don't like it, because of XYZ reasons, fair, valid, but if it's because of, I don't know, these other reasons that I just explained, I hope that I can minimize it. I want to minimize those feelings as much as possible so that people can become more into RP and just have a funner time. Yeah, huzzah! Great, glorious, wonderful day! Thank you, Tanukaze, for the super! Broken economy was day 2. It's true. I think the broken economy happened really, really fast that it made coin not feel important. I think if the economy was a little more stable, that the marketplace RPs would have a very, very larger importance in that everyone is trying to get a bag of... a little bit of that bag. But then, after a certain point, people didn't really have to engage in it because they were already rich. So, if we take out their income, they will be forced to engage in gambling. Just more avenues of role-playing. Thank you, Space Guy, for this super. If the scenario changes drastically in Chapter 2, what would you like to see happen? How would you see Jonathan adapting to the changes? What is drastically? I don't know. I think this question is hard for me to answer in that I literally don't know what's going to happen. And what is a drastic change? Are they still in the same kingdom of Levestal? Is a drastic like a complete genre shift? What if we were in space? Then I would perform the greatest space opera to exist. or we just go sci-fi. What if we were in space? Yeah, what if? If we were in space, I think the approach I would take would be to roleplay a robot. Because I think it would be really funny, and then I can talk in a stupid robot voice the entire time, and it would just be a character that is completely 100% dictated by what other people do. So if someone were like, "Go, robot, go kill that person," and then I would be like, "Beep boop, I am going to murder that person as per your request." And then I would go up to the person and say, "I have been sent by this person to kill you." And then I would take out a gun. I think it'd be really funny. So if we were in space, that is the approach I would take. Yeah. Very silly. Great time. Robots. And then, depending on it, then we can really go into the feelings on our robot. Do robots have feelings? Are robots only made to be used? And then you get the whole robot become human arc. Robots! I think robots are... You like see them as dogs, you know? Like if I had a Roomba, I would look at it like a dog, and then I would feel really bad for that robot. So robots are also very emotionally compelling if played correctly, because you just kind of... You look at it and you're like, wow, that is just a little puppy. It's a little puppy robot. I don't want that robot to get hurt. Yeah, robots become human. But I don't know if we are going into space. I don't know where we're going. If I get the opportunity, mark that down. I will be a robot. The first chance I get to being a robot, I'll be a robot. Thank you, a raccoon, for the Suba, the Jonathan G. Sandies, and keychains sold out. So here's money that was going to be used for that. Thanks for creating the humblest of nights we could all root for. Oh, thank you! Oh my god, I'm so surprised to hear that my entire stock is gone. Even the keychains. I don't know. I guess because when I saw the keychains, they're very, very subtle merch, you know? And you didn't really get to see them very often. They're really cool. They're really cool, like, in the shape of our weapons and stuff. But it's very subtle. So it shocked me to see that they're all sold out too! Thank you. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Jonathan G and Enrico. Was there anyone who's RP during Enrico that really surprised you? I don't know. I suppose my very obvious answer is that I didn't know that Crony was so into RP. And it was really, really fun and really awesome. I'm glad that we got to be on the same team. It was a good time, my dearest Queen Tamgander. Queen Tamgander. Thank you, Peter, for this Uba. You know, the king revealed to be a fraud, and the final boss, it would appear that the throne is currently empty. Looks like Tam can become queen. It's true! She has her place on the throne with Queen Mario. They can rule together, hand in hand. That throne is really large anyways. They can both fit on that throne together. Thank you, Kyrie, for the Suba. Thank you for the fantastic job, Gigi. You brought back my love for VTubers with your stunning performance. Huzzah! Huzzah! Thank you for the kind comment. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Cranberry, for the Suba. Jonathan G. The G stands for guts. Oh, I didn't read this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Hutserl, for the Suba. Jonathan G. making a 35-year-old salaryman feel like his GF just broke up with him on MapleStory again at the age of 15. Your MapleStory relationship is going crazy. How silly. I see. Well, I hope your MapleStory GF gets back with you. It's okay. She only left you because the guy that she locked eyes with has really cool NX, but once his NX expires, she'll come crawling back to you, and all you need to do is gift her a couple's ring, and then she will love you forever for as long as you have cool NX, okay? So keep your head up. She'll come back. She'll come back. Bomb Goblin, for the Suba. I apologize, this question is a little off topic, but I'm curious as to Jonathan's thoughts about his guildmate who nearly destroyed the city. Well, I think it's because it was going like corruption art with you know, the stain is the one corrupting her from Jonathan's POV. I don't know. I don't know exactly what Bibu was cooking in that moment. Like maybe she is just not getting corrupted and she was just unlocking memories. So just from Jonathan's POV, he sees Bibu as being corrupted by the stain. So he doesn't blame her for her actions. He blames the stains and the corruption. So his thoughts are that he needs to help purify her and he wants to save her. Because such evil is plaguing the land and he feels really bad and really sorry that such an innocent person could get entangled in such a mess. Who knows? Maybe she wasn't. I don't know. No metagaming the RP. I myself may know a plot point, but does that mean Jonathan knows a plot point? No. Just because it is happening somewhere else, Jonathan is not currently at that area. Jonathan knows everything that he has seen, and everything he overhears is all the information he gets. All the information that is fed to him is in character, is the extent of his knowledge, and then outside, I just personally feel that any outside things I see shouldn't affect how Jonathan continues his task. Unless he hears of it firsthand. Did I know what... I don't really know what Bibu is exactly planning. Like her motivations and stuff. Or if she is really going for like evil angle. I don't know any of that. I don't know that stuff. I knew that she was planning the corruption arc because I logged in to get some stuff done. And I saw her online. And then we were just chatting a little bit, and then I helped her, but she did a lot of work to set up the last day. She did a lot of work behind the scenes to set it up. And I did my best to assist where I could. Because, you know, she had to get a bunch of stain hats for all of Advent for it to show that they are corrupted through the spread of those stain hats. So for a little bit before the day of, I logged on and I asked what she was doing, and I was like, oh, I'll help. So I was just like farming the quest board, trying to help her get a stain hat. And that's why you see a shit ton of hats in my inventory on the last day, is because I was trying to get a stain hat. I didn't get a stain hat. I got literally every hat a bunch of times except a stain hat. And then she ended up getting the stain hat. I'm like, wow. Did my best. I tried very, very hard. Sorry, I couldn't get a stain hat. my bad. And then there was a few Advent people that were online helping her too. It was not just me, but I don't know if it's my place to share who is online. So if they talk about it, they talk about it. But it was just a lot of going back and forth on the quest board and going, when am I gonna get a stain hat? Thank you, Turtle, for the Suba! Why don't I ever give up, you ask? Because Jonathan never did! Jonathan would never give up, so what would Jonathan do? Hashtag, what would Jonathan do? Didn't Jonathan get a stain hat first? Yeah. I got 2 stain hats in the beginning, and then I gave them away because I didn't want to wear them because I had the cerulean hat. And then I didn't have any stain hats in my inventory anymore. So they were gone. The stain hats were gone. Let me see. Thank you, Kami, for the super. Just wanted to say thank you for making such a beautiful and immersive story. It really got me out of my creative music funk. GG, easy. hope you are able to create some wonderful, beautiful music that makes you happy. And please share! I'm sure everyone loves hearing and listening and indulging in everyone else's passions. How did the gods work on the world real time? I don't know. They're awesome. The gods were very awesome. There's a lot of times where I feel like I don't know. I don't think I really messaged them in the middle of it, but afterwards I would be like pleading emoji, can I have this? Because I want it. And then they would accommodate, and then I'm like, thank you. But then I felt kind of bad because a lot of the stuff I was asking for, it was just kind of random RP stuff, and I'm like, can you give this to me, please, so I can do this? Yeah. Hey gods, please! I want this. Please give this to us. Thank you! And we did ask for the ink sacks. I was talking to Cece about it because we wanted a book. And then I was like, pleading emoji, can you ask them for the ink sacks? Because I've been asking them for a lot of random shit. And I feel bad. And then Cece's like, okay. So Cece asked for the ink sack, and we got an ink sack in the shop, and then that's how we could build those books. Yeah, thanks, Cece. If not for you, would we have been able to write? Maybe. I might have asked for it in the end. But it is thanks to her that we have ink sacks. Thank you, Woken, for the super. Not sure why this was not sure if this was asked, but I'm curious to why you decided to add gender swap to Amnesia roleplay of Reco. Not complaining, just curious. Because I forgot. The big answer to why Jonathan G is referred to as a him is because I forgot. I forgot it was an Amnesia roleplay. Forgot it was me. I forgot it was supposed to be me. So don't worry, I'll figure it out. We have chapters. We have many chapters to figure it out in the future. Wait, it's nothing. It'll resolve itself eventually. Just trust in the plan. What is the plan? There's none yet. Mind your business. And it'll happen eventually. I don't know. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Thank you! Half and half for the Super! Week 4 playing Maple because of GG Burninator's gone. Progress has slowed, but I somehow feel a sense of freedom. P.S. If Jonathan was a Maple character, what class would he be? Mihail or Dawn Warrior? Either one of those, I'm thinking. Thank you, Rin, for the Super! One of the other fun Hololive RPs is the gender swap. Hope to see you at the host club one day. Oh, Joe-sama. It's time to go to bed. And then... I know the dance. If I could show you guys the dance, I would do the dance for you right now. But you'll have to wait for the future. In the future, I will do the Ojo-sama, it's time to go to bed dance for you guys. Ojo-sama! It's time to go to bed. And then, why are you scrolling your phone? And then, don't. That's how you do the dance. Thank you, Pets, for the super. Very good job in Reco. Can't wait till chapter 2 in the future adventures of Jonathan. I think it was pretty funny. They said in the beginning that everyone lost their memories except for their names, but you and others were like, yo, new me. They did? They said that? Just goes to show that I don't pay attention to anything. They did? Oh. Wow. I just really want the roleplay, guys. The only thing I remember is I didn't know that. The more you know. I just found that out today, everyone. I just found out that I knew my name all this time. Jonathan just got hit on the head a little too hard. And he probably thought that GG was not GG, Jonathan G. It was just initials. He thought that GG stood for initials for something, and that is why his name is Jonathan G. Easy! It's so easy! I knew that. I knew that that plot point actually, and I accommodated for it. Yeah! Of course! Sneeze. Never mind. What does the other G stand for? I don't know. Mind your business. Thank you, Mume Sim for the Supa! You are easily one of the most emotionally intelligent person. Is that true? I'm glad we got Interreco so others can finally see that in action. Thank you for being you. Oh, thank you! You guys think I have a high EQ? Sneeze. It's tickling. I can't sneeze. It must be because I'm an empath. When I say this, does everyone remember the period of time where people were shitposting about being empath? Like, maybe a year or two ago. And then, like, every other sentence, they're like, oh yeah, I knew that costed $5. It's because I'm an empath. As an empath, I knew that my McDonald's meal would end up being $7. So that's how, whenever I say I'm an empath, please imagine it in the shitposty way. And not that I'm saying that it is because I am genuinely trying to peddle the notion that it's because I am so full of empathy and I'm an empath. Well, take it as you will, I guess. But just know that it stems from the shitpost. Yeah, like, as an empath, I sense that you're kind of mad that I rear-ended you and totaled your car. I get the vibes. I get the empath. I'm like seriously sensing negative vibes right now just because I ran the red and I hit your car. You're really harshing my vibes, and I'm going to sue you. Yeah, for empathy. Thank you, Gatlock, for the super. Hi, GG. I was curious. Did you think you would actually win in your duel against Shakira? Did that come as a surprise to you? Huzzah! It came as a surprise to me. Did she throw it on purpose? She's really good at Minecraft PvP. I was fully believing that I was gonna lose. And then I was like, okay, what are we gonna do from here? Accidentally forgot to heal between rounds? Well, it just so happened that it ended up that way. But I fully believed that I was gonna lose going into that. But if she did win, we would have went along with the marriage arc. Things could have been completely different on the last day. Jonathan would have been married to Shakira and having to come to terms with being married and going through heartbreak. Thank you, you live up for this, Supla. Congrats on Enrico, it was a lot of fun. Quick question, other than Jonathan's, is there any character arc or side story that you'd like to follow during this week? I think I saw some of Liz's side story arcs. I just think Liz is really, like, the way that she presented all of her role-playing moments was really fun. Please check it out! Please see. I think the way that Liz and I approach RP was completely different, so it's a good way to see two different sides of RPing. Is that I think she was doing a lot of internal monologuing, and then she was also creating a lot of those glitching intros and weaving those stories together. So be sure to check out her POV to see another side of RP. Thank you, Remy, for the super. The red text that only showed up in yours and CC streams has indeed been perceived, by the way. We await to see what you two are cooking with great interest. Twirling my hair. Oh, you are? I don't know what you're talking about. Twirling my hair? Looking behind my shoulder? What are you talking about? What red text? What red text could you be speaking of? Anyways. Thank you, Monkey Hands, for the super. Suggesting to the gods repeatable side quests are okay, but make it so the repeated clears give less payout. Instead of 300, it's 50 for each clear onward. Cheers and huzzah! Yeah, I think the quest could be tuned a little more, just so people are struggling for a little while longer. But I don't think they should be struggling for too long. I think they should be struggling for at least 4 days out of the 8. Just my selfish desire is that people are poor for half of the session. I just think people should be. It would be fun. It would be awesome. Yeah, 50% of the week being a struggle sounds perfect. Thank you, Renee, for this about the way you inflated Queen Tam's riches was very eloquent and hilarious. You made her regret saying she had 8,000 coins. She only had 8. Jonathan will never know, but out of character, you made her stay on her toes. So wonderful. That is the queen. I will say that I had a vague idea that I knew that Queen Tam Gander was broke out of her ass. That she had literally nothing to her name. So that's why I was really playing it up, because I really liked Crony's reactions to it, and I thought it was really funny. So that's why I was really hamming up her riches. So that's why I was like, oh, 8,000? Surely you are so humble. Our dear queen, you actually have 8 million. 8 trillion even. So that was just to me, because I thought the way that she was playing it up was really funny. So I was extending it a little. Thank you, Nayab, for the super. GG. I don't have enough words to describe how grateful I am that you and everyone cultivated such an engaging story. Had writer's block, but you gave me enough brain rips to write again. Thanks! Huzzah! I get the feeling. I get a bunch of writer block sometimes too, but then I come across a piece of media. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go all in on writing now. And then I write like 10k words, and I'm like, wow, I've had enough of writing. But I hope that your writer block stays away and you are able to write something that makes you happy. Thank you, Ariel Mose, for the super. As a longtime teammate, I just want to thank you for helping draw out the side of Ame we've never really seen before. She's talking about how she was nervous to do roleplay before, and I think you helped her have fun with it. Oh, thank you! I had lots of fun roleplaying with Ame, and seeing what she would come up with. So I'm sure by now you know that this was entirely made up of like 99% improv, with 1% just asking how we were feeling. That it was a conversation of like 3 lines, really. I really am grateful and thankful that she played along with me so much, and that she crafted the storyline, and we're able to do the storyline together, and it was just entirely by gut feeling, and if not for her, this would not have happened. And she has a really good sense for the RP, and I hope going forward that what you say is true, that she is not nervous because she's very good at it, and it was a lot of fun. I had lots of fun. Thank you! Thank you, Ame Senpai. You are awesome. Awesome and wonderful and brilliant. And thank you, time Guac, for the super. Just wanted to say that I absolutely loved how well you were able to stay in character. The only time I saw you break in character was when you tried to call Liz and she yelled at you. There was a few times I wrote character to laugh because people were being silly. I also really liked when Liz became the talking cape. On the last day! The magical floating cape was so silly. I'm sad that I couldn't follow her and chase her down. She was just too fast. The magical floating cape was really a floating magical cape. The walking cape! With the accent! So awesome. Oh, and thank you, Just a Guy, for the super. Earlier you mentioned you want to see handsome fi the G/Jonathan in a ponytail. Are you thinking a high ponytail or low ponytail? Anyway, thanks for so much fun this past week. Huzzah! I would say a high ponytail. Yes, I think it would be a high ponytail. Well. Huzzah! Thank you everyone for joining me. I had lots of fun yapping and getting all my feelings off my chest, and I hope that this little yapping time was a little insightful for what was going on. If you were curious about anything, I know like the biggest question is like how much was it improv and then the character story arcs, and did you have any idea at all what was going to happen? So I hope that you got answers that you were seeking, that you were looking for. Yeah. And then I would like to finish off today by saying once again that it is just a role play. So please be very... Let us be like Jonathan G. And let's be very polite and very mindful not to take things that are in role play into other people's, like, you know, streams and mentions, or like adding them with stuff. Let's be very polite, and then let's just get everyone a clap and a pat on the back for doing such a good job, because this was very new. This was a very new experience for so many people. This was their first foray into role-playing. Well, I don't know if that's true, but I'm sure that a lot of people were not very comfortable with it and weren't sure what was going on. So I'm very happy with the end result of what had happened at the end of Enreco, is that it seemed that people were getting a lot more comfortable, and they were just having a good time and having a fun time. So let's not take those fun times away from them. A roleplay is contained in the roleplay, so let's be polite. Let's be polite about it, and then we can cheer everyone on for what they created. Yeah, because we do not want to diminish someone's love for roleplay. We want to... What is the word? I'm blanking on the word. What is the word? We want to lift them up. That is not the word I'm looking for, but it's the same feeling. Is that we want to uplift them, and we want to make them more confident in their abilities. Because if you know, get on someone's, you tear down them even trying, then they won't want to try again. So let's uplift them so they can remain confident in their role-playing abilities, and everyone did a fantastic job, and it was a silly and it was a fun time. And then going onwards to chapter 2, I'm looking forward to even funner, even greater moments. It'll be fun. It'll be awesome. Thank you, Tiger, for the August Silva. Thanks for the stream, GG. It was really interesting hearing your thoughts on Enreco. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you, Juna Chen, for the super. Thank you for the behind the scenes, GG. Huzzah! Huzzah! Thank you for joining me today. I will try and have a schedule out by tonight, but it will be a pretty standard pre-Enreco GG schedule kind of thing going on, with a few collabs happening. And nothing else. Nothing really else. Sunday is my break day. Yeah. Bye! Bye, everyone! Huzzah! Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming along and listening. I hope everyone has a good rest of the day, good rest of the week. And if you were just here because you were really nosy about Enreco, I hope that whatever that I said tickled you, and that you had a good time. And maybe one day I will see you again. Farewell! Farewell! Goodbye. Change the world. My final message.